Well, don't you care to know what the name of the single is?
This is America. Oh,
No, Lithonia.
Good for him.
Shout out to the East Side. That's all I'm saying.
Can we say that the Olympics was one of the best and worst things to happen to black culture in Atlanta, or black people in Atlanta?
I would just say worse. Where was the good from it for black people? Outside, swaggy ass merch.
Bringing in, just making the city
some jobs.
And companies were able to reinvest and get better and bigger and
want to come to Atlanta. Okay, I get it from that, but that benefited almost everyone that lived here. So, which I get it, a majority of the people that lived here were black, but like at the same time,
but it ended
done more harm to the black community.
It ended Freaknik as we know it.
Yeah.
And it pushed all the people out of the projects to the suburbs, to the south side and east side.
Yeah, everybody whose grandmothers grew up in Atlanta, they really are from the east. They're from the east side. They're from Douglasville.
Yeah,
they're from
Marietta.
Nowhere it would. Well, fuck. I was gonna say really ain't nobody go north. North is like the only thing that niggas really be blocking off from people.
I feel like some of Marietta got touched.
Maybe like the okay, so you know how there's a weird way that Cobb County touches like Lithia Springs.
Yes.
Like that part, nigga.
Yeah, like west
of Cobb County, like kind of
West Cobb County.
And it turns into Marietta at some point.
Yeah, it's like that Lithia Springs, Mableton, Smyrna area.
Yeah, it's black as hell over there.
Like, I'm looking for somewhere to live up there, and I'm trying to live pretty close to Vining since that's where I'm going to be working, and I think the Battery will be home base.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I don't like this school district, so I know I'm not going to like this neighborhood.
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. But yes, that part of it. But I'm just saying, in totality, the North didn't really get touched. Like, nobody was in Sandy Springs. Sandy Springs is kind of new, I guess. But, like, I don't even know if Sandy Springs – I guess it did exist.
The area itself existed, but nobody went to Sandy
Springs was there, I'm sure. Like, the high school – let me see. How old is North Springs?
But nobody went to Brookhaven, Alpharetta, Roswell.
Yeah, Centennial.
Yeah, no, we're not letting you.
Yeah,
not letting you brokies in. Yeah. Take your ass to Riverdale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go to Douglasville, bro.
Hang out at the Amico before you come to class. Like,
go on out to the Lithonia and go to MLK.
Yeah, fucking McNair, nigga, Columbia High School.
Redan.
Yeah, basically. And then that moved on because think about it, there are white people that went to those schools. Like there are white people that can say, "Yeah, I went to Redan High School," but like you can't name any white person that's went there since fucking this turn of the millennium. Like, like
they moved their ass to the Emory side of Decatur.
That's what I'm saying. Them niggas. Hey, this is where they went. They went to Druid Hills High School, nigga. That's where they moved. If they stayed in public school, they went to Druid Hills and they went to Chamblee. That's where they went. Like Dunwoody, nigga. They didn't go to Stevenson, Redan, McNair, MLK, Lithonia, Miller Grove, nigga. Like, they didn't go to those schools. Like, yeah. So it definitely, I would say, kind of hurt maybe slightly a little bit more.
But you know what it did? It helped spread the culture to the outskirts.
That's true, but look at how it's working out now. Like, they've almost completed the plan of getting rid of every fucking body that did remain in the city. Some of the people that afforded to stay or didn't sell, like that could pay that tax or whatever. Yeah. They're getting their ass out now.
Well, as someone who lives in the city, don't you appreciate it? Don't you want some of that riffraff out of the city?
The crime is still here. So it's like, I'll put it this way. Right here, those stairs that we go down
Yeah.
When we go to the gentleman's club that's down the street.
Yeah.
Somebody got killed there like last week. So I thought it was the homeless dude. There's always a homeless dude that's sleeping there. I don't know if that's the case because I haven't walked over there in a minute. But like, well, yeah. But typically there's a dude that's sleeping there. And it was on the news one morning when I was going to go get my daughter and go to school. And I knew somebody died because they had the yellow tape. So I was like, damn. And then, it took me like 15 minutes just to – matter of fact, I couldn't turn right because it was blocked off. So I had to go straight and then, maneuver another way. But like somebody died over here. Like, and it was said that, at first I'm thinking, oh, maybe heat stroke or something. No, somebody literally beat the hell out of somebody and left them for dead right there. And it's caught on videotape. And it's kind of crazy because I didn't hear it, but they said that the beating stopped at around 5:36 a.m. in the morning. So I'm like, damn. I mean, it's right here. Like, I can see the shit if I wanted to. That's what I'm saying. So it's just weird to me. But like
5:36 o'clock. It's time to wake up for work, bro. You shouldn't be fighting that late or early.
Correct. And that's my thought. Where the hell are you coming from for two people to be there? Because, okay, let's say you went to Magic. Magic on their latest night is open until
3 or 4.
3 or 4? Yeah. So, gosh, how are you hanging out an hour and a half after Magic?
And if you're staying at Magic late, 9 times out of 10, you're not the type that's going to beat someone to death. You might shoot them, but you're not to pause them to death type of person.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like it was personal, whatever it was. But seriously, yeah. If you type in Peter Street, Ted Turner, the corner of Peter Street, Ted Turner. Yeah, somebody was killed over here. And so,
I'm living with enough trauma. I don't need to add that to my palette.
Let me tell you, though, driving around Atlanta is such an experience, even for me, like today, because although I've been in the city this long, like, bruh, they have changed so much shit. Like, so much of this shit is different. Like, even me driving through, I'm just like, man, what the fuck? When did this get like this? Like, everything over there in Midtown.
Drive.
Everything, yes, Northside Drive. Everything over there, Midtown, like the interlock and all that shit behind it, bro. It is like completely brand new. And I used to live over there, so like, it just looks completely fucking different. And
I don't like it.
I like it from the standpoint of everything looks new, like, so that's kind of good, I guess. But like, it's making everything more congested. Everything costs more. Like, I would never even go over there because it's always so congested. Like, I don't even want to park to try anything over there. Like, if I don't live over there and walk, like, I don't want to go over there. Like,
look,
there's no parking lots. Like, damn near. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to go over there.
Bro, I remember I went to I can't even think of the name of the restaurant, but it's like a brunch spot over by Atlantic Station. And I'm looking for the spot on the GPS, and then like I get there and I go, bro, there's no parking lot. I gotta park in front of somebody's house and walk 4 blocks. Like, what are we doing?
You went to a breakfast spot. Was it in Atlantic Station, or you're saying?
No, it was like right outside of Atlantic Station.
So I think I know what you're talking about.
Bro, if I'm going to anywhere in Atlantic Station, I'm parking at Target. I'm going to walk in Target for like 2 minutes, take a piss, and I'm leaving.
Right. Did you go to, it was called Iron Skillet?
No, it wasn't that. It's one of those housewives of Atlanta, like Trump at the Place. There's another one in Buckhead too.
Okay. Because I was going to say if it was Iron Skillet, or no, not Iron Skillet. God damn it. What's it called? Either way, it's not what I think it is. There was a restaurant. There's a restaurant over there, or Silver Skillet maybe is what it's called. They shot Remember the Titans there, funny enough. But good old-fashioned breakfast spot. I guess that's all I'm saying.
Are they gonna ever finish that breakfast spot by you?
No. Flying Biscuit, hell no. No. I forgot why it stopped too. Somebody actually gave me the explanation, and I was like, that's weird. I'm like, so they just decided to just drop it. But I was like, somebody really needs to buy that space and fucking turn it into a bodega. It would be like the most popping ass shit over in this neighborhood.
Well,
Like
with it being Atlanta, it can't be a bodega. It has to be a corner store.
Yeah, but make it have that bodega like appeal. Like you can come in, there's fresh, there's a deli, like there's fresh, you can get shit on the grill, you can get a cold cut, like they got all the drinks, all the candy. There's an ock working it or something, like, you know what I mean? All right, you don't have to be an ock, make it a nigga, but make it a respectable nigga, right?
Bro, you just want to be a New York nigga so bad.
I do not want to be a New York nigga. No. I have respect for New York, but I don't want to be that. I don't want to call people, my son, fucking, I don't want to be a part of that culture.
You want to go hang out on Dykeman and chase Dominicans?
I would like some Dominicans, but I don't have to hang out on the block,
In your b-boy stance. I still don't even know what that means. Is that bad? I don't know what a b-boy stance is.
Right.
My b-boy stance. All right, bro. Anyways, enough on this Atlanta diatribe. We've gone on for 11 and a half minutes. How you doing, Parlay Pete?
Man, it's not brick enough out here, so we struggling. It's hot. No, I'm good.
You could get you a quart of water from the bodega?
Yeah, right. Well, Poland Spring at that. Right? That's their shit. Get a couple pies. You're like, but no, I'm good, brother. I'm hanging.
I'm sorry, bro. I hate New York people.
Bro, it's so much fucking slang that they use.
And I'm watching Stephen A. Smith right now on TV, just being a New Yorker, and that terrible blazer tie combo that's an eyesore with a flower on and a pocket square. And he's yelling about the NBA draft that he knows nothing about.
Is he getting you tight?
Get ass. Got me mad tight, pause.
Yeah.
One.
Nigga says real talk.
Bro, if I went to New York, I might get shot if I actually got drunk and started talking shit.
Like, yo, son, sit down somewhere.
Yo, son, dead ass, man. I was talking to my mans over there on 5th and 100. Right. He was telling me about these chicks in the Bronx. And I was like, nah, baby, I don't go to the Bronx, B.
He's like, it's dirty over there. He's like, if you're not coming to Williamsburg or any place past 47, nah, we can't kick it.
I'm going to gentrified Brooklyn or Long Island. Maybe Manhattan, baby. Right. You never see me in the Bronx. Queens, ain't nothing in Queens for me, man. Except for starlets.
Hey, Williamsburg.
My cousin went to Fordham.
He's like, fuck
class of 95.
He's like some nigga from Yonkers tried to tell me that they was New York. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
I got a homegirl. She went to St. John's and she's been in New York since 2012. And when I talk to her, I be fucking with her. I'm like, yeah, dog, you a New York ass nigga. And she just moved across. She moved across the Hudson to Jersey. I'm like, yeah, you a real New York nigga now. You done made you a little bit of money. You done moved to Jersey, come to the city to go to work. Dead ass.
Facts, B. Facts. And so, yeah, and speaking of New York, looks like they're on the clock right now. And Twitter, New York Twitter at least, is trying to praise the moves that have been done. I don't know how they should feel about it. Like I said, I like Mikal Bridges. Nice piece.
Are you looking at Steve right now?
You said who?
Steve.
Hold on. I don't even have it on the draft.
Oh, man. He was just having the blinky eyes because they just drafted some random French guy that nobody knows and knows how to say his name. Pacom Dadier. That nigga is like in the rafters at the Barclays, man. It's gonna take him 10 minutes just to get to the stage.
Nigga probably didn't expect to get picked today in reality.
Probably not. But while we're on the drafts, because I know you almost jumped into the New York picks, the New York moves, but let's talk about the draft a little bit. As somebody who's actually been at the draft, been with a top 10 pick, had good seats, where like they might capture you on TV type shit.
Yeah, get a reaction.
What was it like to be at the draft watching all those young men lives change?
It was unique. I mean, it's kind of crazy because when you're there, it's like it's this thing where everybody knows it's gonna happen, but you don't fully realize it until you're in that moment. And specifically with the person obviously that I was there with, it was a special moment because it's like, gosh, I got to see it from almost its inception of when the dream was first thought of, and then to be there on the day that it was realized. It's a special moment. Unique experience too, just in terms of the crowd and how that kind of works there. New York City's got such a melting pot too, because think about it. Yeah, there's New Yorkers, but like there's a lot of transplants in New York too. There's plenty of people from all different cities up there, right?
Yeah.
And this is an event that doesn't cost that much to go to the draft. Those guys are walking around after they get drafted. You could kind of take a picture with them. Some of them like will be walking around like A Boogie with the hoodie. I ran into him randomly.
How did you recognize him?
Jewelry.
Okay.
And Couture is a fan, so I was familiar with him. He's had one of them songs out. I forgot what it's called. I still think about you or something like that. It is something like that. I don't listen to that dumb shit. Yeah, the only song I know that he has is with Kodak Black. I'm drowning. Like that's like the only song I really know.
That ass?
Yeah. Yeah, B. That's my son.
So just one more question about that. And for the person you were at the draft with, not only were you there for the process to watch it as a young bull up to, grown man making the league, but also he had like a crazy jump for like 3 years. It went from, it's a good basketball player to killing it in the Olympics, at the Team USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, the U17. And then going from like, who is this guy to this one of the top five? Top 5 in the class, and then ultimately, number 8 pick?
Low key. He was low key. He was, put it this way, he was ranked higher than Trae Young on ESPN. He was ranked higher than Shea. It was some other dude, Trey Duvall or something. Some dude that was going to Duke. That at
Trey Duvall, that sounds about right.
Higher than him, but like he was better. Colin was better than him,
but like seeing like that exponential jump in a short span and then being there on draft day, just as a friend, more like family, what was it like for you just seeing somebody that you love achieve a lifelong goal? And it obviously the process was long, but those last couple of years where it goes, okay, I want to do this, to, oh shit, no, I'm doing this. Like I'm him.
Yeah. It was a moment. I mean, I was really happy for like, obviously for him, but like for his family too. Like it was just one of those moments where, like you said, you're there because you know it's going to happen, but you kind of didn't, like, I didn't know where he was going to get drafted. A lot of people were hoping he went to the Knicks. That was definitely like kind of like the thought. The thought was that he wasn't going to fall past 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that aspect of it too, right? Like not knowing. But it was just fun. It was fun to be able to go to New York, hang out afterwards. I got to meet Avery Johnson because Avery Johnson was his coach in college. You know, it was dope. It was just dope as fuck. Because here's the other aspect of it too. He's 18, so it's like he's still like young as fuck, right?
I mean, yeah, he can't even like go to the party for real, for real. I mean,
well,
he can't.
the funny thing is, we had it at a club, kind of. It was like a club, which you can be 18, I guess, and go to the club.
I mean, you can in Atlanta. We went to the club at 18.
Yeah, but wasn't nobody going to G-check fucking millionaire coming in if he wants to drink? Like, nigga, the fuck, like they weren't going to G-check that. But
no.
But he, but here's the thing: he doesn't really drink either. So
good for him.
Yeah,
keep your body clean, young king.
Yeah, he's a straight edge type guy. I mean, I don't think I've seen him pick up a vape. He will smoke hookah, but like
pass me the hookah.
Hookah, I don't even know how hookah. There's no way hookah gives niggas buzz. Like it doesn't give me.
No, it definitely does.
I don't get a buzz.
Well, you zen.
I might have a really high tolerance for that shit now.
Yeah, bro, you vape and zen.
Actually, well, hey, let me tell you, that's something that I actually have put down. I have not vaped or zen all month. This whole month.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I'm zenning heavy these days.
Yeah, once because what it is I had some Zens here, and like because I wasn't really using the Zens, but I started to use them because they were here. I was just like, well, gosh, let me do this, and then they were gone. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try and kick this habit, and I've done a really good job of kicking it. So it's just like I certainly don't think I'll never not do it again or anything, but
it's not you're not doing it every day, all day like some of us.
Well, right. There'll be those times where you'll get it. And actually, I've been getting into my sparkling water intake. I don't know if you've ever had Spindrift. These are really fucking good, though. They're really good.
You're a prick.
Look.
Real squeezed fruit.
These are good. I'm trying to tell you, these are at the top of the market. It's good.
I don't drink much sparkling water. I just drink water out of my refrigerator.
Hey, look, these are the ingredients. Carbonated water, Concord grape juice, lemon juice. That's it. It's good, brother.
All right, man. So the draft is on right now. It's round one's practically over. And if you all know us and you know this podcast, we're not draft experts.
And this year especially.
But the Hawks did have the number 1 overall pick. This is an Atlanta sports podcast, so I guess we have to kind of talk about it. And I've got to look this guy's name up because
it's Zach. I know. It's his last name that I have a problem pronouncing.
Yeah, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the guy who's going to replace Trey as the man in the city.
It's
Resache?
Resacher. Yeah, something like that.
His comp was Harrison Barnes.
Okay, so Resache.
Resache, yeah. So I don't know what to think of this other than those trade talks aren't looking real good, and we're fed up with DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, well, let me tell you. Basically, yeah, if all the reports are true, like I think I sent you one earlier where it talked about Trae Young, not having very much value. At this point, you keep him, man, and you do try and move the other guys because those are still your 2 best players at the end of the day. You drafted now another wing that hopefully has the potential to be a really nice 3-and-D complementary piece. Because that's what you want him to be. You don't want him. He's probably not going to be a superstar. So you just want him to be a complementary piece. Like he needs to complement whoever he's playing with.
So this past year, his in their season, he shot 35% on 3.4 threes a game. During the Euro Cup, he shot 56% on 3.4. That was 17 games as opposed to 32. Last season he shot 29% on 1.5. Year before he shot 39% on 1.3 per game. So Nick can't shoot.
Do you think
he averaged 10 points per game?
Yeah. Well, but see, look, that isn't to me a determining factor necessarily.
No. There's the raw skills. There's the length. He's 6'8", with like a 6'8" wingspan.
I think when they did now granted he was also a second round pick, so it's just totally different. But Jokic's numbers were like,
I don't care. He was the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, well, and people loved his 48 pers, like, 36 pers and stuff. Like, but
so his per 36 is he averaged 16.5 a game, 6 rebounds, a steal and a half, a assist and a half, a block and a half. Excuse me, an assist and a half, a steal and a half, and half a block.
Yeah, and look at it this way: from something like that, he still hasn't realized his full potential, right? I mean, that's the point of the draft. None of these guys have. Some of them being more finished products, but none of them have realized their full potential because they have to play in the NBA and they have to see just how much better their game can, take them. But, like, I expect him to be somebody that has to have a shit ton of potential. Like, he's got to have a shit ton of untapped potential where we get this 3-and-D guy that plays like the style of basketball that the NBA is going into. Like, he's got to be able to guard 4 positions. He doesn't have to be the best player. He just needs to be a contributor. Like, in a weird way. So Bill Simmons played this game on his podcast. He did, would you trade this for the number 1 pick? Like, they just kept naming guys. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw that shit. It was
he was like Derek White. He was like, no. He's like basically like, no. Like, you absolutely wouldn't trade Derek White for the number 1 pick, which is kind of crazy. Like, when you say it out loud like that.
I mean, but you know what? It's something that Lombardi talks about in the NFL. We talk about all these draft picks that these teams trade for, and this and that being a great trade. Well, put a name on the pick. Now, when you put a name on the pick, now let's evaluate the trade.
Right. And here's the thing. I guess it's so hard because we don't want to compare certainly last year's number 1 pick, right? And especially because now we know what he looked like after a year. But, like, Victor Wembanyama, they were absolutely right. Like, everybody that talked about everything about this nigga was absolutely correct. Like, you wouldn't trade but, 2, 3 players for
Jokic, Giannis.
And even now, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it today. Because even if you traded him for Jokic, you're not winning anything in San Antonio with Jokic. So it's like, I'd rather have the potential of a guy that could be better, and he's going to grow with whoever's around him, as opposed to, well, Jokic is already a 3-time MVP. He's a champion, but he's 28, 29. He's getting ready to be 30 soon. And we'll have, 5, 6 more years of prime basketball. But Wemby's 19. That nigga, he's 19. So that isn't a good comparison. But even if you look at prior years' ones, Cade Cunningham, Ant Edwards.
King and Martin.
Who?
King and Martin.
Yeah, that's 2000 now. I'm talking even the more recent ones. Most of them have been good players.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, but these are all-star players. I think Kenyon made an all-star for sure in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Very rarely. Here's the thing. Yeah, you have busts. Anthony Bennett might be the biggest bust in NBA.
Yeah, we got. Just think about it. We got Paolo. We got Wemby, Paolo, K, Ant-Man, Zion dominating. Markelle Fultz. Ben Simmons, who was a great number 1 pick, although he's fizzled out.
Yeah, he still is like a 3 or 4-time All-Star with 3 like All NBA first defensive teams.
Yeah,
Even on paper, he
Wiggins,
still was justified.
Anthony Bennett, AD, Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Blake Griffin, D Rose, Greg Oden.
For the most part, though, if you look at it, you're gonna get a decent player at 1.
Yeah,
for the most part, like I don't think
except for 98 if you take Oluwaseyi.
Yeah, but think about it, even like a guy like Andrea Bargnani, right? Foreign player. I'm just looking. Let's look at the foreign guys. Because I didn't realize there's only been 4 foreign guys that have gone 1. Yao.
That's good. This is American League.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's Yao. Yao was first, then Bargnani was second, Wemby was third, and now this guy's 4th. So
Oluwaseyi went before Vince Carter and Dirk and Paul Pierce.
Michael Oluwaseyi.
Yeah,
I just remember him because his name was so fucking long, and he played with the Timberwolves. He was on the team with KG, but
Oluwaseyi. Okay, let's stop talking about Oluwaseyi. Oh wow, he was in the league until 07. Dang, he left just the year before the Celtics kind of won it all. He could have been something. All right, man. Let's get off of this. Anyway, so yeah, we take Frenchie number 1. We'll see what happens with Trey and DeJounte. No idea. I just think there is a the league hates Trae Young. And this is not my Hawks. This is not my Hawks fandom like seeping in, but the league just hates Trae Young. If he can't fetch what Mikal Bridges fetches, but this nigga is 25 and 10 for his career. What are we talking about? 27 and 11 last year. This man led college basketball in points and assists, and then turned around in a couple of years, did it in the NBA.
He's right now, because you have to have X amount of games to qualify. If he like retired today for whatever reason, I think Trey would be second all time in terms of per game assist average. So his career average is like second all time. So it's like, you want to know what it is? This is the one thing about Trey's game I think that has disappointed for his value and why some of his value sucks away. Fuck him not being a defender. We all kind of knew he was always going to be a liability there. His 3-point shooting is actually not as good as we expected. No, he's kind of mediocre percentage wise. Like you kind of expected Trey to at least be a career of 39, 38. He's really more like 34. So
his career 3-point percentage is 35.5, so 36%.
Yeah. So I mean,
his 3 percentage looked bad last year, and he shot 37.
Okay, that wasn't.
No,
that still is below what I think the standard, what we thought it would be.
We thought he would be shooting.
Maybe because Steph Curry is a 40% every year type guy, but like, that's the comparison. In reality, he's supposed to be a 40% 3-point shooter. Like that's what his number is supposed to be.
The problem with Trey is he doesn't play off the ball, so like he doesn't get easy catch and shoot threes.
That's true. A lot of he'll do those. He's dribbling, and then just kind of launches type shit. But like,
yeah, Steph's career 3-point percentage is 42.6.
Animal. And let me tell you, every time that shit leaves his hand, you think it's going in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't feel the same way with Trey.
Nah, he has to be in rhythm.
Yeah, like Steph could be struggling, and you're like, that's good. like that nigga, Steph actually had some games this year where he was like over.
Dog, do you remember in like 2015, 2016, like the MVP Steph years?
Yeah.
Where it's like he didn't miss threes. It's not even that you didn't think you would miss. It's when you're watching the game, you go, bro, this nigga just went 7 for 11 from 3, and he did not take 1 3-pointer close to the line.
Yeah.
Like none open either.
Yeah. And he was getting he was almost getting sassy with that shit. And when I say sassy, I mean this motherfucker was not only pulling, but think about it, bro. That was like prime era of launch and turn.
Yeah, launch and turn, shimmy,
launch and run back down the court already. Like, nobody on the team. He's launching, and everybody on the team's already getting back. Nobody's crashing the boards.
The Jazz just drafted Isaiah Collier.
Okay.
What does that mean for Colin or Jordan Clarkson?
They drafted Utah already drafted kind of a guard earlier too. The dude out of Colorado, he kind of was a guard. At least I tell you what, when I watched them in the tournament, that nigga was handling the ball like a fucking guard. I don't know. And Utah is in such a weird position because
they have good players, but they're not a good team.
They have good young players at that. They're young. I mean, outside, like Clarkson's a vet now. Like what? Clarkson? How is Clarkson? 30? Like
Clarkson's out of there though. He's going to a contender to come off the bench and get 18.
32. Gosh.
Dang, he's my age.
I know, right? Like,
you need to be thinking about his post-career, his post-basketball career.
But gosh, he's been a Laker since 2014. So, motherfuckers forget, like, yeah, man, he played with Kobe. So it's like
back before he was all tatted up in his long Filipino hair.
Well, look at it this way. Kobe has been dead for 4 years. So when you look at like, damn, he played with Kobe, and I get it. Kobe died 4 years after he retired, but like, still,
Yeah.
He's old. He's just a lot older than I think we're giving him.
Do you care about Reed Sheppard going 3?
Thought it was interesting because this was a draft where everybody pretty much knew who the first 2 picks were going to be. So it started there. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really care that he went 3. I think that white boy can hoop too. But like, I was just shocked that Dalton Connect fell as far as he did to the Lakers, truth be told.
Bronny's on our screen. I don't know why they're showing Bronny, but I guess they need something to keep people watching.
The last pick, right?
Yeah. No, we got 2 more picks. We got Toronto at 31 and Utah at 32.
What if Utah drafted this nigga? No, they're not going to do it. But
what's going on here? Like, why are we talking about Bronny? Because we're talking about Bronny. That's why we're talking about Bronny.
Yeah.
Good job, Steve. I think the biggest takeaway from round 1, like the most important thing that happened was the Timberwolves getting Rob Dillingham because they needed a spark plug scorer, and he appears to be that type of player, and he's going to come off the bench and actually score with that second unit. That's all I got. Did think he was a Spurs guy.
Didn't they trade him?
The Spurs traded him to Minnesota.
Yeah. Solid pickup, actually, for Minnesota because he's going to kind of maybe come in and take over for Conley.
No, I think he's going to come off the bench. And
no, I know, but I'm saying once Conley's finished. How much longer is Conley going to pull? Like,
I think they'll look for another veteran point guard that's
but
in
by
the
that point, he might be developed enough to where then whoever that vet is bent behind him.
I don't think that's ever going to be his game.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go get a bucket, big fella.
Yeah. Well,
I bet Ant dogs him in training camp, though.
Let's see.
Well, you brought up Dalton Connect going to the Lakers at 17. And, makes me want to talk about the Lakers. They announced their head coach this week and had the press conference, and JJ made it very clear that he doesn't give a fuck about what Stephen A. Smith has to say about him.
Yeah. You mean sleep?
How do you feel about JJ Redick being the Lakers head coach as a Lakers fan?
I think that it was the only hire they could make. And I think because, like I told you, we kind of briefly talked about this, whether it was through text or on the phone, but they couldn't really do anything different, could they? What could they have done differently? I don't think that any of the retreads out there would have been good hires. And for what it's worth, they've already been doing that. Like, they've kind of been doing nothing but, I mean, Darvin Ham was a new coach, but he's a guy that had experience, right? Like, he had experience. He played in the NBA. He's an assistant for a minute. Like,
maybe Sam Cassell, a coach who's championship player, championship assistant coach, brought a nice spark to the Boston bench. Once they brought him back 15 years as an assistant coach in the league as a black man and not even getting a fair shake, where JJ Redick has no coaching experience at a high level. He just walks into one of the most glamorous jobs in the NBA. That's what they could have done. LeBron could have put his nuts on the table. AD could have put his nuts on the table and said, hey, give me Cassell because he's a black man.
But maybe that was just it. Maybe that was LeBron's nuts on the table, regardless of what JJ wants to say, saying that I didn't talk to LeBron about it until I was offered the job. 30 minutes after I was offered the job, this is the first time we talked about it.
I believe that.
But maybe where they talked about it, but for them to sit up, they have a fucking podcast together. For them to sit up and for people to think that they didn't speak on. Oh, look at that! Boston picked another white guy.
Shocking.
Right. Another white guy for the Celtics. I guess Hauser's probably going to get paid by somebody. Somebody's going to give Hauser $15 million a year for no fucking reason. He's going to get that Denny Echevita. I'm trying to tell you, he's going to get that. Or no, it wasn't Denny. It's what's his face that played for the Wizards, Davis Bertans. He's going to get a Davis Bertans contract.
If he can get $15 million a year to play basketball, can we get $15,000 a year just to talk sports? I mean, Paul Pierce is on TV. I'm
telling you, and these guys are stealing money because who doesn't want to sit up and talk sports all day? Most people can sit up and, if you're a big fan and you kind of know what you're talking about, most people can actually sit up and talk sports. So it's just like, who wouldn't want to get paid to do it?
Paul Pierce has Stephen A. Smith's diet stylist. Like these jigs come on TV looking nuts. Like Bob Myers looks like he wants to run an NBA team.
Yeah,
like at
any minute he could get the call and he'd be ready to sprint into GM mode.
Stephen A. Smith looks like he works for the Universal Circus. Stand up, big dick croc. Okay. Like chicken noodle soup with soda on the side, ass nigga.
Yeah.
Empire State of Mind. Take it back up top, B. Anyway, sorry.
But Steve also, Steve does this for the internet. He does. Like every time they've ever shown him entering the stadium, getting ready to go to the game to talk, he's doing it for the camera. Like he's doing it for social media to have these reactions. He's smart. Like he's smart as hell.
He's good at his job of garnering attention. Correct. But he's bad at his job of educating people on sports.
Well, and who was it? I think it was Dan Le Batard's show.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that's who it was that I was listening to. They broke it down and they said, here's the issue with a guy like Steve. Steve can only talk basketball and football. When you really think about it, like they said, what is Steve going to do when,
they brought up the hockey stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's he going to do when it's hockey time? Like, Like, how are they going to fill air, especially because ESPN does have a contract with the NHL? Like,
they're going to let Pat McAfee talk hockey because Pat McAfee watches hockey. Stephen A. Smith doesn't have to talk hockey, and most fans who tune in to First Take don't give a flying fuck about hockey. They rather listen to a Lakers and Cowboys conversation in June.
Yeah, Dak Prescott conversation, right? Like,
is Micah Parsons better than Myles Garrett? Hold on, I got one for you because I meant to send it to you earlier today, but I'm in the gym. I'm heading over to the leg press machine, and I got Stephen A. and Mad Dog on my TV. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm happy I have headphones on. And the headline is, should Suns trade either Durant or Booker? Rockets interested in Durant or Booker, according to Woj.
Right.
Who's not interested in having Kevin Durant or
right.
Yeah.
They're interested. Well, at that point, just say that they reached out to them and feel like they got traction. That's the only way that can be a story. Because if you said that they reached out to them and the Suns didn't pick up, then okay. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like, but no, that's not.
Parlay Pete, that's like saying 85% of black men are interested in Ruby Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's hot.
Yeah, it checks out. Right.
Yeah, I mean, breaking news there, buddy. But is Ruby Rose interested in them?
Right.
That's the news.
Breaking news: an attractive hoe is garnering attention from niggas on social media. It's just like, man, I didn't know. Like, come on. But
hold on, last one. Breaking news: Michael Jordan won 6 rings in 6 finals appearances.
Right. Back to you, Bob. You know, like, but
hey, I went to school with this guy, and we would make jokes like that. He would go, "Back to you there, Dick."
Right. But you know, here's the thing. It's that time of year, and literally, you know, at least that is somewhat on topic of what's going on. I think I sent it to you earlier, or maybe I did. On BR betting, they were like, our BR Butcher Report, or it was BR Gridiron or something. They were like, who's got the best hair? And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, this is bad. You know, like, football offseason is terrible. It's fucking terrible, man. Like I get it. We're probably 70 something days away from kickoff or something. Yeah.
Bro, we need training camp to start ASAP.
Well, and think about it. If you're that fucking desperate, you start talking, we're really only 30 days from like training camps opening. You know what I mean? End of July, like training camp is about to be here, to where I was sitting in the sauna today. Literally, guy hadn't seen me in a minute. He was like, man, so what did you? Because I didn't talk to him about it. I was like, well, he was like, what did you think about the Falcons draft? And I was like, look, I said, love the player, to be honest with you, love Penix or whatever. I said, but my biggest issue with it was I was shocked that they did it when they did it because of obviously the timing of Kirk Cousins, but more so like you're setting up for a controversy. And that's exactly what's going to end up happening during training camp. Like, that's what, at least there's going to be enough juice for everybody to squeeze stories like that come July. So we've really only got a month left before, you know, we can get back to some normal actual sports talk. Till then, this whole month is about to be ran by the Olympics. And think about it. There's going to be nothing entertaining about the Olympics for USA basketball until they get into pool play. Once they get out of their group play, because I don't know who's in their group, but the reality is they're not losing to anyone in their group until they play Germany, Canada. Hell, maybe Slovenia.
Is Luka playing? Because he got hurt. Maybe France?
Nah, because Wemby's not playing.
They cut Killian Hayes, too. He's not playing either.
Yeah, well, big surprise there, too. Hey, this just in. Michael Jordan won 6 finals in 6 years. Back to you, Bob. Like it's like Killian Hayes getting cut from a team. That's not news anymore.
Hey, he's still a Piston, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I guess he still has a Pistons name tag in his locker, but he doesn't play enough to be considered a real Piston. He's not a horse running on that floor. So,
well, Monty's gone. He lost his last lifeline.
Hell, what is that? Killian Hayes' third coach? Or he's about to be on coach number 4? I mean,
Killian Hayes a coach killer?
He might be. Shit. You know what's funny? The one thing I remember about Killian Hayes when he got drafted was everybody was like French James Harden was like the first thing that everybody was saying. And I get it. He's like 6'5". I didn't see the whole step back shit because, this is when James Harden was really good. He's still good, but he was really
cooking.
Yeah. This was the Harden that could easily go for 35, right?
French James Harden.
Yeah, seriously, look it up. I have to think that maybe that comparison is still there. Let me see. That's who I remember them saying.
Well, can I be 5'11" LeBron James?
Yes, you can. But you're a lefty though, so you got to be Lamar Odom.
Okay, I'll be 5'11" Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Let's get to. But hey, back to the Lakers a little bit. Few takeaways from the press conference that I had. JJ is talking about using analytics. He's going to use the spreadsheets, but he's also going to understand his players and context. I think that's the right approach. And I honestly think JJ Redick's going to be a good coach. I think his process is going to be a good process. I don't know if that turns into wins immediately, but I think he's going to try to coach the team the right way. He and Rob Pelinka talked about getting JJ's offense and stuff on an app. They're going to invest in tech. If the NFL,
I like the idea of it.
Yes, but if the NFL already is giving players iPads and tablets, and college football is giving players iPads and tablets, well, Lakers, catch up to 2024. The technology's out there.
But I think it's just interesting that, and maybe teams do already do it.
The Lakers
basketball?
I don't know, but the Lakers don't have a pro scouting department.
So who's doing the fucking scouting? Rob?
I read last week they don't have like a pro personnel department. They're not scouting players who are already in the league.
Well, but that falls in line with the Lakers' off seasons typically and how they do work out. They're either trading for a star or they're signing one. There really isn't an in between with that.
It takes me back to
the year that they signed Luol Deng and Timothy.
Exactly.
They didn't sign no fucking superstars that year. And hey, it was clear they didn't have a pro personnel department because of how much money they shelled out to them motherfuckers.
Bro,
you guys clearly haven't watched them play ball.
Remember, we were at my shithole apartment in San Diego when we got that news.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Mozgov got paid all that money because he had one good game in the NBA Finals with the Cavs that year, if I remember correctly. And I think that a lot of it was garbage time points too. But he had one good game.
Jumps off and dunks to a 7-footer.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. And Luol Deng was already past his prime. Luol Deng, I guess maybe could have still been a contributor on a team. And wasn't that the same? Was this the same free agency where Danny Ferry, where the comments came out?
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly when those comments came out. I don't feel like, I can look it up. What else am I doing?
All you gotta do, Danny Ferry. Danny Ferry deserves to be back in the league.
So does Mark Jackson.
Hey.
So Danny Ferry's comments were 2015. 2014, yep. So 2 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
this nigga said he's got some African in him. He's a good guy on the cover, but he's an African. He has a little two-step in him that says what you like to hear, but behind closed doors, he could be killing you. Khan isn't bad, but it's there, is what was in the scouting report.
You know what, man? Comments like that are deplorable, but they're also funny.
Like, but think of it. Then there's audio of it. It's like during the call, Ferry said he's a good guy overall, but he's not perfect. He's got some African in him, and I don't say that in a bad way. He has a store out front that's beautiful and great, but he may be selling some counterfeit stuff behind you. This is so wild,
but hey, let's be real. That paints a picture. And I don't know Luol Deng at all. I don't know his character. But doesn't that paint a picture and you understand exactly what he's saying?
Yeah, but
like,
how the hell what did he know about Luke? Who told him that?
He's a Dookie. They're both Dookies.
You know what? Yeah, I guess that he did go to Duke too.
Yeah. I mean,
Dan Ferry played with the Spurs, didn't he? He played
I don't care. I don't know or care who he played. I just know you have the Duke connection. But really think about that, Parlay Pete. Somebody goes, yeah.
You think K told him that though, or you just think that he's been at the games and he's like a booster or something, and like it's just something he noticed about him?
The brotherhood, man.
But who the fuck said it? I just want to know, who did he hear that from? Like, did K say this? Like, who said this?
So here's the thing, right? I have friends who went to the Naval Academy, right?
Okay.
And the Naval Academy, their football program has like a brotherhood. Like they have a Facebook group that's only for Navy football players, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you just hear information about the program if you're close to those guys. Like if they actually trust you, like they'll just tell you some funny stuff that's going on in there.
Right. Like how their coach got fired. The one that got fired, the Hawaiian dude, right?
Yeah. They weren't happy about that one.
Yeah, I know.
But like you hear all of these different things about the program and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dog, you graduated 10 years ago. How are you so tied into what happened 2 days ago? But my partner who's on the coaching staff told my other partner, and then it hit the group text. So probably similar stuff. You know, Danny probably knows somebody who's on the staff who's still working at Duke. And then, you know, they're talking. But back to what he actually said, and we're not going to spend too much more time on it. It was wrong for him to say that. It's pretty racist, but it painted a very vivid picture of what he was trying to get off.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, guy looks good. He's going to say all the right things, but he's a sleazebag.
Yeah, but there's something wrong with him, and I want everybody to be cautious of that.
If he hadn't have said he has a little African in him, he just said he looks like he has a nice storefront, but he sells some counterfeit stuff. Danny Ferry's still in the league. But have you been to a sleazy African shop before? Because I have.
Yeah, look, one of my best friends is African, and so even when he said he's got a little African in him, because you know, obviously there's this thing that is 100% true between, and he obviously Dan Ferry's white, but like, you know how Africans are, bro. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, and it's not just the old Africans hate niggas, but Africans do hate niggas for the most part. They don't like niggas. Like, there is this, like, this wall. Like that truly does exist. And so now I don't know what Danny Ferry meant by that, because Danny Ferry's not black. Because like, see, when I hear, like,
but he's a basketball guy. You got to understand, like,
African in him.
White guys who are basketball guys are more in touch with black culture than your typical white guy.
Yeah,
because you're on the basketball team, dog. You've heard the N-word countless times, dog. You hear what we talking about here.
Yeah.
But nah, yeah, man. Question for you on that African thing.
Yeah.
You go into Trump country, right? Conservative white guy, definitely uses the N-word the second you leave. Who could you find common ground with more quickly? A Nigerian, or by golly, they'll never take my guns.
I'm gonna give you my trick answer. The trick answer to this is it depends on what we're talking about. But
Go to hell.
come on, because to a degree it does. Like if I'm with an African, if we're talking about
Tim's.
no, it doesn't have to be about her. I assume you're talking about her, not the boot. But
yeah, we're not. No, we're not taking it up top. B. No. We keeping it. We keeping it in Africa. Tim's.
Look, I just didn't know if you wanted to bring up the 5 boroughs of death. You don't understand. I got New York City in the palm of my hand. Fucking tattoos. You remember Brooklyn? You know Brooklyn was the trigger finger. But nonetheless, the trick answer to that is it depends on what we're talking about. But if we're just saying general conversation, like how's your day, and then we get into something from that doesn't have anything to do with anything, probably the white man, of course. Like, but it depends. It would depend on what we're talking about.
Fair enough. Yeah. I like your answer, but hey, we're going to cut hour 1 here, and we're going to come back with a little bit more Lakers talk. Mm-hmm. A little bit more NBA.
I'm going to literally grab my spin drift real quick, but go ahead.
Well, I'm going to wait for him to grab another spin drift so that I can go to the little boys' room. All right, guys. So hour 2, AC Lee here from the AC Lee and Parlay Pete podcast. Man, we had fun in hour 1. If you're a New Yorker and you listen to this one, hey, dead ass, you might want to turn this shit off, B. It's real brick ass for y'all out here. Whatever y'all be saying, it's just dead. But we're gonna talk a little bit more Lakers. What's their plan? What are they gonna do? Do we think that JJ's screen cut offense is actually gonna work with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? We got to talk about the Villanova Knicks. Got to talk about them, because at this point, if Tibbs starts off slow, Jay Wright's in the shoot. I'm gonna ask Parlay Pete about John Wall, Klay Thompson,
about that.
Paul George, and let me see. I can't read this. Oh yeah, and some of these, and we're gonna talk about some NBA contracts. Hey, so Parlay Pete, give your thoughts on JJ and the cutting and move in motion offense that he says he's going to bring to the Lakers, and how that works with LeBron James and AD, and the Lakers' desire to bring in a third star after it didn't work the last time they did it. I'll be back.
Okay, awesome. We start talking about the style of play that JJ is trying to incorporate with the Lakers. I think it's actually going to be good, because it isn't that him and LeBron being on the same page necessarily is what's the most important thing. Because I don't think that that's a big part of why the Lakers haven't won. I just don't think the Lakers are talented enough in this league to win right now, to win a whole thing. I mean, everybody can quote me on this. LeBron James he's not winning another NBA title. Like, it just is what it is. I don't know who the Lakers, and maybe that's why it gets to that third point that Lee wanted me to kind of bring up here. Maybe it does come down to them getting that third star, but who's complimentary enough to both of them that would put them over the top against what we've seen relative in the NBA? The Celtics are set up to where they've got 4 guys that can guard almost anyone on the floor, while also having that, chemistry, like as a team. Like, it's just, I don't know, like that's going to be a hard team to fucking beat, even if the Lakers get to the finals. And then you look at Denver, who has beaten them, 8-9. I mean, 8-1. It's going to be, it would take a special type of player. And I just don't think that the Lakers are going to be able to get that special type of player. It's one of those things where the Lakers are just boned in the situation that they're in. They'll be a playoff team, but they're not going to be this team that is going to truly win a title. Like, it would take an injury on somebody else's end for them to win. They're just not constructed to win, and I don't know if them getting another star, like what star can they get to put that team over the top relative to what we've seen that's won in the NBA? today.
I don't think that star. Hold on. That star only exists if Anthony Davis finds his 3-point shot again. He hasn't shot the three well in the last 2 to 3 years. If AD finds the consistent three again, like he had in the 2020 season and in his later years in New Orleans,
yeah,
it changes that entire offense because then you can actually put a 5 on the court. Like there's rumors thereafter Valanciunas, Steven Adams type guy might become available. But if you could actually put AD at the 4 and he can shoot that 3 consistently, what did he average last year? Like 23?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny?
23 turns into 27.
You know what's funny? Zach Edey was actually who they were projected to draft today. That was the thought. The thought was that they were going to get Edey. And I think that would have worked out well from the sense of obviously he wouldn't have been a starter, but to be backup rim protector, it kind of could have worked.
And you know what you can do with Zach Edey? You can throw the ball to the block and get a bucket. I'm not saying do it all game. But he
actually has a move, to where he can score.
And he's a 70+% free throw shooter, so he's not a free throw liability. Like, oh, we can get you in foul trouble, or we can just get these 2 points. So I think for the Lakers to make a move that works, again, it starts with AD being able to make a 3 again, because that changes everything. And then also getting some guards who can guard and somebody else who can create. So is it DeJounte Murray turning back into Spurs DeJounte Murray, like the 17, 8, and 8 guy who played defense? But we know DeJounte can get you 40 on any given, like on a random night, you know?
Yeah, well, here's the issue. The Hawks aren't just going to accept no bullshit. And they shouldn't, at least.
They shouldn't, but he's a clutch client.
Look, we know what it's going to take. We know who definitely's got to be a part of the deal.
Well, maybe that's why they brought in Connect.
You got to give me Reeves. But see, they want to trade Connect. Connect is who they would want to trade, right? But nah, man, I want the finished product. And they already had struck gold with him anyways, considering he was an undrafted free agent. But I'm going to need him. I'm going to need Japanese Jordan. And I'm probably need a picker or Vando or something. You got to give me something.
If he's Japanese Jordan, what does that say about Japan's basketball scene?
I tell you what, did they qualify for the Olympics?
Yeah.
They did for basketball?
Yeah. One of the reporters at a press conference, a Japanese reporter from Japan, or at least from a Japanese news, Japanese media.
They got that other guy, Yutan Wannabe, too. They got him. That's another NBA player on that team.
She asked, how did JJ feel about Rui possibly playing in the Olympics? And what was his plan for Rui? And I really just sat there and listened. They really gave this lady a microphone to ask about JJ's plan for Rui Hachimura.
Because he's going to be playing in the Olympics this summer.
Here's my plan for Rui Hachimura. He's gone by training camp. We're trying to get D'Lo to opt in so we can move that salary somewhere.
Well, we're hoping that there's a guy in Cleveland that doesn't like the hire.
And we're hoping it's the guy who can score 50, not the guy with the bad braids.
Well, you're right. The guy who can score 50, not the guy who's almost getting paid that per year. You know what I mean? We don't want that motherfucker. But no, I look. I didn't realize that Japan was in it, but
does it matter? Does it fucking matter?
It doesn't. But point being, look. If I'm the Hawks, I can't do it without getting those guys. Those guys all have to be a part of this deal.
Well, what if Landry doesn't want them?
Doesn't want who?
What if he doesn't want Austin Reeves? What if he says we already have Bokeh? He's
Well,
European Austin Reeves.
That's why the Hawks, if they could just get fucking creative, they've got so much goddamn talent. Like, they do have talent, and it's just like,
go get Julius Randle, Atlanta.
Man, think about this, though. You just brought up Bogey. Bro, they still have Sadiq Bey, who I think is still like a solid basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, Sadiq Bey, when he was playing, was a 16-6 dude. Like, that's what he was doing for the Hawks. He was starting games. Like, you got to get rid of Hunter. If you can get rid of Hunter, you're doing good. Like, don't get anything in return for him either. Like, tell them, look, we'll take some second-round picks, guys. Like, we just want to get rid of the contract. Like, we got to get this guy off the books. But if you can get rid of him, you got to get rid of Capella too at this point. Like, just move on from Capella. Fine. And Capella can help a team. Like,
yeah,
he can go to the right situation.
I mean, he can help the Lakers.
Fuck it. Send him to the Clippers. Put him with fucking James Harden. He could take over for Zoo. I don't know if they really – what's up with Zoo, right? Like, they could put Capella with the Clippers. It would work out.
Let's see, Big Zoo.
Zoo's a 10-8 guy, right? Like,
no, 12-9.
Yeah, but Capella's like 14-14. Get Capella. Just get Capella.
The Lakers gave Zubac away from Mike Muscala.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Magic Johnson.
I'm not gonna be there.
I assume you didn't listen to that Donald Sterling interview I sent you.
I didn't.
When you get some time, when you got 20 minutes of bullshit time.
Is it the one where he talks about not being a racist?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen clips. Did you watch Clipped, by the way?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I only
watched this week's episode.
Yeah, I've only seen the first 3.
Yo, Sterling's a wild boy.
I think that I think he did what most white men with money were doing. I mean, he just got caught. Like,
no, I think his wife is the person who looks the worst in this entire thing. Because
she's not getting the fucking hints.
Like, she's just trying to keep up the image, keep the money, and protect everything. Where Donald's like, yeah, no, I'm a billionaire. We're fine. I can do this. They take this team from me. That's fine. They can't take my real estate from me. And guess what? These poor minorities are still going to come here and rent. You know why? I offer a price they can afford.
And there's only but so many places that they can live.
Exactly. I think Donald Sterling is not a person to look up to.
No.
But I think he's very relatable. He is, when they say power corrupts, you just go, yeah, this guy has a lot of power, and he just does whatever the hell he wants. And who's going to stop him?
And it's crazy because they almost got the polar opposite in an owner now.
Oh, yeah, a guy who actually spends money on the team because he doesn't care about money and he cares about winning.
Steve Ballmer may very well, now that technically Mark Cuban – because Mark pretty much sold his whole stake, right? And he's still a part of it. He's still a part of it, but like he doesn't own the team anymore. And so
he used to run the show. So
like you could argue that Steve Ballmer might be the most popular owner.
Yeah, like he's a fan.
That's what I'm saying. You know, him getting pumped. Steve, do you know that Steve Ballmer is like the 9th richest person in the world, nigga? Like, yeah, like he's up there.
Like he's one of those people that's so rich you're shocked that he owns a sports team. Rich,
right? Because typically the richest people in the world don't own a sports team. Which I know we'll get to that, but obviously there's that on the Commanders with Bezos and them saying he got outbid was the reason why he didn't. Well, obviously he didn't bid. He didn't get outbid. He just knew that he only wanted to spend X amount of dollars on something, which is actually stupid because it wouldn't have mattered if he went over.
Because you're going to get in the black no matter what. You're in the black every year.
Well, right. It just wouldn't have mattered. He's that rich, like to where it really didn't have mattered.
It's like Elon Musk overpaying for Twitter, and people are like, "Oh, what is Elon Musk doing? He's spending all that money on Twitter." It's like, bro,
he can do it. It don't matter. Money literally isn't a thing.
It's like the person who has 7 Lambos. I can just do it. It doesn't hurt me to do this.
But you know how empowering that must feel?
I don't want that much power.
To where money literally, like let me tell you, me and my brother, his son is going to be going to Fernbank Elementary.
Okay.
And, Fernbank's a nice area. Area. It's that, Ponce, Decatur to Atlanta, Stone Mountain kind of pipeline right there. That's what it is. Nice area. And, he's talking, we're driving, and he's talking about, like, some of the houses. I'm like, yeah, these are some really nice houses. I was like, what's crazy? I said, man, people get to that next level. Like, yeah, these are nice houses. Like, these are $500 to $1 million. Like, you know what I mean? This is what type of houses. But I'm like, bro, there's another level to this. And I said, I'm not even talking about Arthur Blank's level. I'm not even talking about that. There's just another level, even from those people in this specific area making that much money. There's a next level even for there, where there's the guys that are making, $7-8 million a year. These CEO, like, there's another level to all this shit, and it's like
it's the guys who have the loft or the pad in the city for Monday through Thursday when they're working.
Yeah,
and they have the mansion down in Fayetteville that they go to on the weekend that they're
like, well, there's that, and that's just in the state of Georgia. Because then the next thing I said was, make the comparison to these people to the people in LA that are their comparison. You know what I mean? That are their counterpart, like in LA, like the ones in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like there are so many different levels to it. It's fucking crazy. It's just it's amazing to think. It's like when you look around, it's like, yo, man, what the fuck do all these people do for a living? Like that really is like kind of my question. It's like, I get it. Some of them, it's like, well, I'm white. Like, come on, man. Like, of course I got a good job just right out of college. And it didn't take me very long to get built up to do what it is. I know everybody. It's a good old boy system. Once I got in charge, I started to kind of make the rules on how much money everybody was going to be making.
Right. And
I made
and I invested well.
Of course I did. They gave me a stock option that just no matter what was always going to get better. Like,
and my friends or my mentees will hit me up for $100K loan, and I tell them to pay me back $150. So I just made a smooth $50K, because it's not that they don't have, it's not that they're broke.
Right.
It's that they have their money tied up in so many places that the bank's going to give them an astronomical interest rate. So I'm just going to beat the bank.
Right.
I'll come in 3% lower than the bank, and I'll get this, and then I'll take this, and then I'm going to lend it to my other friend, and I'm going to turn this, I'm going to get another 50 off this 100.
Right.
I made like $300K in 6 months. Or excuse me, I turned $100K to $300K in 6 months. And it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I do this every year, twice a year.
Yeah, and like I said, that's where those next level, because the people that are over there that are, that have it, it's like, oh, okay, he's 68 and retired. He worked at Georgia Pacific for 30 years. His stock options since the day he started until the day it ended, he's got a few million in the bank basically from that option. He might have bought another pad somewhere. Like he's got a couple two rental properties somewhere. They've appreciated.
The beach house in Florida.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's a UGA grad, and he's had season tickets to Georgia, so he keeps those in the family too. Like it's just like it'll be them motherfuckers.
Here's the thing:
cards.
I rent out the beach. I rent out the beach house throughout the year, and I also rent out the boat.
Right, and it's a fucking timeshare, basically.
And when my kids went to college, I bought them a house for them and their friends to pay me rent every month to pay the mortgage. because I'm charging them damn near the mortgage per room. Kids graduated, the house is still there, and we're running the same scam.
Right.
And talking to somebody who's like playing in those fields, I didn't understand it until like he broke it down to me, and he's like, yeah, making your first meal is the hardest meal, but after you get that first one, up to 10, it's easy. Because now you have disposable cash
to put towards things that you know will make you money.
Like, yeah, it's not like you're just hopping on Robinhood and you're guessing. It's like, no, you're giving your investment banker this much money to go do whatever the hell else he does. And now you're meeting people with this kind of money. And so you're putting this kind of money up and somebody's giving you the deed to their house until they pay you back. Like you're doing all this under the table legal stuff to grow your money at exponential rates that you could not grow it at in the market if you were the most shrewd investor. And
you still have your income as well. It's not like you stopped working. So there's that aspect of it too, right? Like, and so it's crazy, man. Like, and not to mention, depending on who you marry, what it is that they potentially do, because now you're coming together as two incomes. Like, you don't know what type of money their family came from. They could have came from some, who knows? I don't know. Like, it just depends.
And just imagine if, say you're making 125, pretty good money, and your wife can come in and make 60.
Yeah.
So you're no longer paying for your wife and her lifestyle. And you're living off of a budget like halfway in between her and you. So it's one that you still got extra money to pocket. And you can still like give her a little allowance from time to time to make her feel special. But she can also do her own things. And then you bring the kids in. So you're not really like losing money. You know, I know a guy who went to Morehouse with him. He's an attorney. He met his fiance in law school. They were practicing in New York for a little while, and now they've moved out to LA. And you just go, oh, two attorneys clearing well over 100 a year. And I'm being generous because I don't know their pockets, but
right.
I remember being at a party and the dude's like, hey, can we get a couple bottles of Clase Azul? It's like, hey, it's a Casamigos party, big dog.
Well, and if you're out saying, let me get a couple bottles of that.
No. We weren't out like at a club. It's like, hey, let's go to the liquor store and get a couple bottles of Clase Azul. And I'm like,
well,
if you want to drop 200 per bottle, that's fine. But like, we're comfortable getting drunk off 50.
Right.
But if that's like your go-to,
well, you get what you want at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, nigga, I'm not matching you on it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So certain stuff, it's not. Hey, it's not that special of a fucking thing.
No. And for this particular, we're at a wedding that weekend, so we're binge drinking. It's like, hey, we're not even appreciating good liquor.
Right. We're trying to get something done. We got a flight to catch.
Yeah, like we're trying to get hammered on something that doesn't come out of a plastic bottle. But we're not sitting by the fire smoking stogies either.
Yeah.
We're totally off topic. We're done with the Lakers. Villanova Knicks, man. The Knicks give up 4 draft picks and Bogdanovich for.
I'm sorry, just because this just popped up. I didn't see this earlier. Did you see Bam's extension?
No.
166 over 3?
That's the AD extension.
Why? Why?
5 a year?
I like Bam. Look, Bam, another Kentucky guy, by the way.
Yeah.
I know he's not a guard, but, just saying, another Kentucky dude. Most of them Kentucky dudes would be all right in the NBA.
Yeah.
Brandon Knight is one of the guys. Brandon Knight is one of the guards that didn't work out.
Well, he Kyrie did him dirty in a rookie game. Then DeAndre Jordan buried him, and he just never came out the ground.
Yeah. because he was Milwaukee, right? He went to the Bucks, so
Yeah.
it just never worked out.
That was Jabari Parker, not good Giannis Bucks when they had the red in the jersey still.
Bam is getting 55 a year. That's fucking nuts.
I mean, but that's what he earned, and what do you do?
Here's the thing. I probably wouldn't be a GM very long but then again, it's not my money. So it's like, it is the owner's money, right? Like, you're spending the owner's money. So it's not like it's your money, but I guess, and they're all rich. And maybe that's really why the NBA operates the way it does. It's because they're all rich. They can afford to do it. So it's kind of like, it isn't that ridiculous that they're doing it. But if I was somebody, if you did it based on what they're really worth, you would be like, man, we've already gone to 2 finals and we didn't win, and this team's only getting older. Can we see if we can reset and get some really nice pieces for this guy? Like, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? Like, you could trade a guy like Bam, let's say, to I'm trying to think of a team.
But it's better.
Hypothetically, it wouldn't work with them because they have Sabonis. But let's say that, like, De'Aaron Fox doesn't want to resign. You could basically trade Bam for, like, De'Aaron Fox, right? I know they have Sabonis, so it doesn't make sense. But
does your team get better
if you get Fox?
If you move off, think about what Boston did. They did that slow build. There were times where people were like, blow it up. They're like, I don't know if this fit works, but you stay competitive until you can actually make the move that's going to get you over the top. So you keep Bam. He's one of the best bigs in the league. Good passer. He can shoot the mid-range.
Team USA.
All defensive guy. I mean, and this takes me to something that I had on the list, and we'll circle back to the Villanova Knicks because it's kind of tied into that with the OG contract.
Right.
These contracts, the NBA needs to figure out what the NFL is doing, and they need to create some disruption in the NBA PA to weaken it up some, cause some real division there, because we need layered contracts. We need tiered contracts, and I want black people to get paid. Okay, but for the product itself, we got to get rid of all of these damn max. It's either max, fucking minimum, or
kind of that
mid tier. Like, there's no, hey, instead of giving you the $55 million max, we're gonna give you
38 because
I'm gonna give you 47. So then I can take this 8, which is extra 12 of cap space I got, and get a good player for 20 or 2 good players for 10.
Yeah.
Like, we got two guys on the team. One's making 60, one's making 48. Everybody else is making 6.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where you do need to figure out a way to get a handle on the contracts. But the thing is, too, think about it. New rights deal that I guess technically hasn't been announced yet, even though we kind of know the terms of what it's going to be. It's only going to get worse. And it's crazy because even with Hunter's contract, like we were talking about earlier, his deal actually isn't that bad in this new NBA, right?
No, it's $22 million a year.
It's really not that bad. And the thought would be, if he can play as well as he did against the Heat in the playoffs that one year, if he could tap into that, he's a fucking bargain. But, like, he isn't. He doesn't do that over 82. He doesn't play 82. Let's start there. He doesn't play 82. He doesn't do it over 41 of the 82. You get 2 good games out of him a month, basically.
Question for you. DeAndre Hunter at his price or Cam Reddish at his price?
What's Cam Reddish's contract? He's got to be making vet minimum, huh? If Cam's making vet minimum, give me Cam.
Cam signed a 2-year, $4.6 million contract.
Give me Cam. I'll take Cam at his $2 million. And look, I don't want to make it seem like I hate DeAndre Hunter. It's just
he's taking up a big piece of cap.
He's so fucking overpaid, bro. Like he's just even at $22 million in today's NBA, he's still an overpaid player. Like he hasn't lived up to the pick that he was. He's making too much money. Like he's making too much money. And you know what? The Hawks started this precedence with when they gave Kent Bazemore all that money. Kent Bazemore
that was summer 16.
Man, he got like $72 million over 4 years. And it was like, man, what the fuck is this? Like for our number 7 or 8 guy off what is this?
The cap was spiking, man.
Well, and remember this. The year that they had the 4 All-Stars, DeMarre Carroll was the only non-All-Star. They let him walk. The Nets gave him like $60 million. And then they drafted Taurean Prince. And which smart from the Hawks' perspective of, that's not paying. But then again, it didn't matter. They paid Paul Millsap $33 million a year at like 33. And so in a position, too, where you needed – because think about it. Paul Millsap was on these Nuggets teams.
Yeah. Right before
Paul Millsap was on that team. Before Aaron Gordon, it was Paul Millsap that was running the 4, which kind of was a good player to have, right? Like, he just was old at that point. Like he was done. And so they need to tear that stuff off, though. There needs to be the LeBron James aspect, which those guys do get different maxes, from my understanding. If you have, over 10 years of service or something?
Yeah, it's a different max.
So a guy like that, Kawhi Leonard, like certain guys to me, they can be eligible for X amount of dollars no matter what because of what they've already done in the league. Like, I think that your accomplishments should, in a weird way, make you qualify for a certain amount. And that doesn't mean, like Wemby he won Rookie of the Year, first team All-Rookie. He doesn't have an All-NBA, doesn't have a Defensive Player of the Year yet. He doesn't have an All-NBA selection. Like, he didn't make the All-Star team, right? But, like, he's somebody that should be eligible by the time his contract does come up. He will have all those things I just said.
Yeah.
They should base it off of that.
They should base it off of that, and there also should be
like Scotty Barnes having one All-Star game. He making it this past year. Think about it. If he didn't make the All-Star team this past year, he still would have gotten that contract.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like
the NBA has to find ways to gain leverage back over the players. Because if they can find a way to gain leverage back over the players, you can have better control over the players. And it sounds terrible because I support. You know what? Honestly, I don't really fuck with labor controlling the company. I don't. I think they should have a voice, but I don't think you should have to listen to it. Because as somebody who's managed people for the last 10 years,
yeah,
I have meetings sometimes with my staffs, and I let them talk and feel heard. There are many times they speak, and we have wasted an hour having this meeting because nothing that they said mattered. I only listen to them so that they would do what I want them to do, so they feel like I care.
Right.
And I tell them that straight up. I'm like, yeah, it's not manipulation if you're doing the right thing.
Because it isn't.
Yeah, no, it's like, what? Sometimes the guy who writes the check, or the guy who they hired to write to give out the contracts, the GM,
yeah,
knows what's best for this team, not the player. Sometimes the player does know what's best.
Yeah.
And that player deserves to have a voice.
Well, and if he does, he can go somewhere else and have that voice and prove us wrong.
But you know what? Patrick Mahomes does not tell Andy Reid and Brett Veach who to draft and what to run. But you know what he does do? He gives his input. And when they agree, cool. If they disagree, run the fucking play, Pat. No, we drafted him. Figure it out.
Right.
And if they're wrong, hey, you know what, Pat, you're right. This play didn't work. Let's try yours now.
Right.
But I think there's a level of entitlement with the NBA, and I think that this is like has really seeped into black culture. That when you don't cut the check, you don't take the risk, but you deserve to have the same rights as the person who's taking the risk.
Right.
And that's not reality. It's like, hey, no, I pay you to do this. This is what I hired you to do.
Right.
You agreed to the terms of this. So do this. You don't get a bonus for doing extra if I don't ask you for extra. Now, I may give you a bonus for extra because I'm feeling nice. Or your extra.
That or you can really appreciate the idea of that person putting even more into it than you even asked them. It's just a pure appreciation of a man. You know, if I had to do this, this is how I would do it too. You know, something along those lines.
But I don't think it's marginalizing players to say, play ball. Your job is here to play ball. The coach's job is to coach. The GM's job is to manage the team. The owner's job is to pay you motherfuckers and do what he thinks is best for the direction of his company. Even if the staff isn't on board. It's like, hey, well.
It's such a the NBA Player Association and the owners, the Player Association is counting the owner's money. Yeah. As opposed to just taking the compensation that they're getting to play what they're playing. Yeah. And that is where the disconnect even comes with the fans from all this, because we all look at it as these guys, some of these guys are so fucking entitled to the point of where they think they can kind of just say what they want to say. And it's just like, yo, bro, you get paid this much to play a game, dog. Like, you're getting paid this much to play a game. And I get it. It's entertaining to millions. But, like, you're not understanding this. Like, you are showing up and this game check that you're getting, bro, there are people that literally will work 30 years that will not see this. And you're about to make it tonight. And it don't matter if you want to play or not. Hell, you actually can tell them, I need load management, and your check's going to still clear that night. Like, it's insane, but it's insane. Like, it's insane for a common person will look at that and, you know, it'll piss somebody off and they won't want to watch.
And I think that's the NBA's issue, where they don't connect with middle America and lower class America in the same way that the NFL does. Because in the NFL, bro, you don't have a guaranteed contract. If you don't shut up in color, nigga, you're in the unemployment line.
Yeah.
And if you're number 52 on the roster, you may be going back home and teaching PE and training kids.
Correct. Yeah. Like, okay, right. An NBA player, man, there's multiple avenues. Okay, a guy that was number 52 on the roster that got cut in football, okay, he has to wait until the spring to go to the UFL where they're only paying $50,000 or $40,000. I forgot what the number was. And everybody makes the same amount from my understanding. I don't know if what's my man, AJ McCarron or somebody makes more. I'm not sure, but like for the most part, everybody's making the same amount of money. So you not only do you have to wait until the spring to do that, but you got to do something in between. So you hit up your local State Farm from the college that you went to, and you say, "Hey, I want to sell insurance in this town." And that's what the football guys are doing. Basketball guys, oh, okay, I got the dudes, and I'm talking about the dudes that are the two-way guys, right? They're still making pretty good money. Okay, now they got cut completely. All right, fuck it. I guess I'll go to Europe and play. I mean, there's so many different avenues for the basketball niggas, and it's less spots, but like.
But here's the thing: they can go overseas, make some decent money, then come back home and be a trainer to the top prospects in their hometown. And make a whole nother. They'll make 2 full-year salaries.
Have a basketball camp
in a couple of months. Yeah, run a camp,
Those
train
guys
a couple
pay
kids.
camps.
God forbid they get an AAU team going.
Oh, right. And then they use their connections with Nike or Under Armour, whoever it is.
Reebok,
Especially if they were a guy. Well, let's say that they were a guy that played on the Santa Cruz Warriors, but dressed out a couple Warriors games, so they're cool with Steph. Steph donates his Under Armours, his shoes. Everybody gets a pair of Currys. Maybe if he's not too busy on the golf course in the summer, he shows up to one of the events because it just so happened to be, I don't know, in Charlotte or something, and he was there that weekend. Like, it gets so deep.
Yeah.
It gets so fucking deep with how this stuff works. But yeah, the NFL guys get butt fucked. It's
like, hey, big dog.
And they're the people that we all want to actually see.
I mean, think about Zeke Elliott. He came off of a bad 1,000-yard or bad damn near 1,000-yard season and was one of the top running backs in touchdowns. And Jerry said, bye, nigga. You know what? A year later, you can come back for a lot less.
Yeah, and basically he told him, he's like, the grass isn't so much greener on the other side now, is it, asshole?
Yeah, or like right now with
even Zeke could say, yeah, it isn't for you either, was it, Jerry? So it's kind of like,
but even like with Dak, right? Dak is trying to run Jerry's pockets, and Jerry's like, Dak, don't fuck with me. I paid you a lot of money.
And I did right by you because you got injured and I paid you.
Yeah. Or the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Like, hey, yeah, 2 MVPs, playoff disappointment, down season. Bye. We got Jordan Love. Get out of here. There is a cold world version of it that I can relate to as an employee. Like, hey, if my performance is not up to par, my organization can move on from me. You as a business owner,
yeah,
if your performance isn't up to par, nigga, you don't make money.
Yeah. And that's the scary part of it, because that is the real world aspect of it. Here today, gone tomorrow. Most of these guys, they typically have made, unless, of course, like I said, you're a football player that's trying to make that 52, you ain't made shit yet. Now, luckily for those guys, as long as you were an all-star in college, you probably made some decent money now because of NIL.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, the college basketball guys, I'm sure they're making money too. But like this past year, that's why this draft was so underwhelming. Nobody fucking knows any of them. The women are who everybody knew. And so, but in college football, they're making, hand over fist. Like, right? Like,
and we see them for 3 years.
Right. So they build up a, recognizable face.
Exactly.
Brand to go with whatever, they do on the
field. They go to the schools that we care about, right? Me as a student at University of Tennessee, I got to follow Joe Milton.
Yeah.
I got to follow.
Who's the guy that's at quarterback now, though?
Nigga, I don't know. I ain't a real Tennessee fan. I'm only a Tennessee fan if they're good.
Now, he's supposed to be good, though.
Yeah, that light-skinned boy.
Yeah, like he's like Hawaiian.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be good. Be really exciting.
Hey, you want to talk a little NFL since we've been talking about like good contracts and all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, Trevor Lawrence just signed a 5-year, $275 million contract. And Jacksonville has approved the upgraded stadium, keeping the team in Jacksonville for the next few years. Thoughts?
The fear of being quarterbackless has driven that market to where it is. Like, the fear of not having did you send it to me? I had seen where, it was put in the group, right? I think Jew might have put it up. I had checked in, and it was one of the things I caught. Was Arthur Blank basically not wanting to be quarterbackless, but they related it to how if a nigga, like, I'm not going to blast myself on here, but if somebody doesn't have any money or something.
No, bro, don't even do money. Dude, if you ain't got no girls and you just keep messing around with Shorty because you don't want to just have nothing out here.
Well, right. You don't want to be holeless. And so but put it this way, you'll make sure you're never in that position again. Is basically, and that's so Arthur Blank overcorrected some shit that he never wanted to see again. But he understood the importance of the position. And so now that has, and if Michael Penix turns out to be great, the Falcons will have probably started a trend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not that guys, because obviously the Packers teams have drafted guys, but not what we did. What they
not non-draft the same season saying, "Hey, Kirk Cousins, you got 2 to 3 years, big dog."
Yeah. And
you're on the clock.
Exactly. Like your time here, it really kind of doesn't matter what you do. Like you would literally need to win back-to-back Super Bowls for us to because then we can trade Penix. But even then, you might not do it. You might be like, well, it doesn't matter. You're still old.
Hold on 1 second. Let me introduce this right.
We are all here. Guys, here's what we're doing. We're going to run this. I got you. We're getting ready to run the piss football. Trying to get going. I got you.
We were so convinced after we heard that clip.
Hold on. I'll do it one more time. Okay, go ahead.
We were so convinced when we heard that clip out of Arthur Smith. We were pumped. It was just like, we're going to run the piss out of the football. Niggas were really excited because that was meant like the Cleveland Browns game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were really pumped. I think we became 4-2 or something like after that.
Yeah, we went down on the field after the game, met up with Justice's partner.
Yeah, Isaac was on the Browns. Yeah.
And you look back on it now and, hey, maybe he's going to run the piss out of the football with Najee Harris in Pittsburgh and Russell Box Wilson.
I don't know what they're going to do. I know that I wouldn't draft Najee Harris in fantasy. Give me tight end 2. Give me tight end 2. Give me running back 2. That's who's going to get the ball.
So today I was, it's a content drought right now because most of our great sports content creators are on vacation.
And there's just, outside of baseball, there's just nothing on.
So I went back and listened to the Flying Coach podcast when Sean McVay had Raheem Morris on and Mike Tomlin. Shout out to Najee B for sending that to me today. And it gave me a lot of optimism about Coach Ra.
But here's the thing. I never felt like
I know we were good on Coach Ra. We just didn't like not getting Belichick or Vrabel.
Yeah, because it was just like, I think that you want to know what bothered me most about getting Ra? He was just in the building.
Yeah. And
it's just like, so what changed in 3 years? That was my biggest thing. What did he, so what, okay, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams, but that team was kind of already set. And I'm not giving him credit. Like, let's just say, he was good. He was better with the Rams, right? Like, what really changed to where you guys didn't want to hire him then? Like, what happened? Because he coached more than half the season. Like,
I think they wanted to kind of clear the room of the Super Bowl team, maybe ish. I think that they were just wrong. But I also think that Coach Ra going to the Rams, winning the Super Bowl after DC, gave them that nice little shiny object because they're too focused on the object and not the process. And maybe coaching under Sean McVay, he became a better coach. But listening to him on this podcast, and he talked about when he became the receivers coach, and people were like, man, you probably shouldn't do that. That's going to set you back from being a head coach. And he's like, no, it's making me a better coach. I've been a defensive guy my entire career. Now I'm learning the offensive playbook. And he was talking about McVay pulling up on him like at the combine. Is like, hey, so if it's 3rd and so-and-so and you're on it, it's like, what you call it? So now it puts him in that offensive play caller mindset. But he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
And obviously he coached with a young Sean when they were under they were under Mike Shanahan in Washington, but now he's coaching under the Wonder Boy Sean McVay. And if you coach for him, you will get a head coaching job.
It's funny too, because in a weird way, Ra, he's a part of the Shanahan tree, but in a weird way, he has that connection to DQ too. And DQ, for instance, said this when he picked Kyle Shanahan to be the offensive coordinator of the Falcons. You know what he said? He said, I picked Kyle Shanahan because he's the hardest person to game plan for. And I feel like I can kind of put that with what you're saying in a sense of the defensive coordinator is able to think of what the offensive play caller is calling. And so for somebody like Ra, he can kind of put together both because he's been on both sides of the ball and he can think like a motherfucker. But in that same light, it's kind of like how DQ picked him out, who's DQ's OC now, right? It's Cliff, right? Isn't it Cliff?
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, great fucking call.
So, I feel like
he knows how to build a staff.
Yeah. And I think that Dan's going to have more success his second go-round. And when I say more success, he's going to
I think he'll coach in Washington.
He's gonna sustain. Yeah, it's just gonna be better sustained.
I think when he leaves Washington, he's gonna leave to another head coaching job, not a DC job. Correct.
Because he's gonna fix all the in-game stuff that was really fucking him over. I don't know, kicking a field goal against the 49ers down. What were we down 4? Or something, or we were down 5. He kicked a field goal with 2:04 left, and his reason we were on the 2-yard line. His reason behind it was, we had 3 timeouts, and we knew that if we got to stop and we got the ball back, we would win the game. And it's like, DQ, you go for the touchdown, baby, and if you don't get it, they got to take it from there too and punt it back to you. I don't understand why you're kicking a field goal here, because all they have to do is get 2 first downs and the game is over. The game's over. So, little shit like that, I feel like, you know, having a 16-point lead against Nick Foles and the Bears at home after you just blew a big lead against the Cowboys the week before, stuff like that. He's going to
have a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl and maybe saying, hey, Kyle, run the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, bleed some clock, big dog. You already got the 49ers job. No matter what happens here, you're coaching the 49ers.
Yeah, well, think about it. DQ could have really made a hit call and been like, hey, man, cut off his mic. You know what I mean? Cut his fucking mic off.
Nah, you can't do it to Kyle Shanahan. He's NFL royalty.
Cut his fucking mic off. He's like, I'm running the goddamn show now.
Hey, no, he called the Sandman on him.
Yeah, I still think there's a fair amount of blame that goes around to everybody for that, but
especially the lineman who held.
Matt gets the least amount of blame, and I will die on that hill. He gets the least amount of blame for that game.
Well, we know you would die on that hill. That doesn't shock us.
You know what? But he gets blame though too, because
do you have a number 2 chain on that I can't see?
No, he could have checked out of the plays. So, that's the one thing that he definitely, looking back at it, it's like, well.
Or throwing the ball away. Throwing the ball away, not took the sack.
Bad ball. That was just bad.
Yeah, I know. We don't want to relive that, but point being, we think DQ will be okay. Did you see the report that came out that the Dolphins did not offer Tua what was considered a market based contract because they're pretty much saying, hey, no, you're not Trevor Lawrence. We're not paying you what he just got.
Smart on the Dolphins end. You know why? Because that's a team that's going to be set up to make a move potentially to get a quarterback that they would maybe want. And when I say that in a sense of
Dak.
Yes, there's always the Dak possibility. Kirk Cousins may very well be available too. Like, I mean, I don't think that's.
And if we think Mike McDaniels is Kyle Shanahan Milwaukee's best light, I don't want to make him just like Bud Light. No, he's like Milwaukee's best light. Like natural light. Fucking Kyle Shanahan. The quarterback, you don't need a star quarterback to execute that system. You need a quarterback who does a specific thing, which Tua does. He does a specific thing that they need, but Tua is also terrible once it gets cold. And
he's Hawaiian.
Unless you're 14-3, 15-2, my nigga, you're playing in the cold in the playoffs.
Yeah. Especially in the AFC. Not very many dome teams.
No, they're like outdoor football in the AFC. They can have it.
There's literally only two teams now in the AFC that you would be playing in the dome, and that would be Houston or Indianapolis. Outside of that, everybody else is pretty much outside. So, and as a matter of fact, as Miami, you guys are basically the only warm-weathered AFC team. There isn't really other warm weather AFC.
Chargers.
Yeah, okay, LA. Yeah.
Do you think Jim's gonna turn that ship around like he did in San Fran, like quickly?
I do. You know that I think their win total is set at 7.5. I like the over. Because the thought would be that they're the second best team in that division. And like I said, I think it's going to help Justin Herbert to have all these guys now to distribute the ball evenly. Like, I think it's going to make the offense a little bit better. And, of course, they're going to want to run the fucking football, right? Like, make no mistake about it. That's why X not there anymore.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of the midget. He was like, yeah, dog, I'm not a 30 carry the game guy. And it's like, well, you can get the fuck out of here, buddy.
Yeah. Now, granted, I didn't really like the moves Jim did at running back because when you look at the running back room, it's nothing but, glass and fucking tissue paper.
Well, you know what? He called up John and said, hey, tell me about your old guys. And he's like,
JK, he's like, you'll love him.
Until he gets hurt.
Right.
Like, hey, these boys are good. But they're made of that shit we wipe our ass with.
Yeah. And not the good shit. We're talking about the shit that would be at your local elementary school.
We're talking about the single ply in the facility, not the Angel Soft that we got at the house.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, how disrespectful was it that when we were in high school, they expect us to either not shit all day or use that see-through single ply?
It's crazy. Now, well, I'll say this. Look, I'm not trying to be funny. Mount Vernon, they provided us with, I think we had the Angel Soft in there.
Oh, I went to public school, big dog.
Well, I know what it was like. I would try not to take a shit, period. Mount Vernon, those bathrooms are clean. You could take a shit. Most people, you wanted to not be around anyone, so you go downstairs to the fucking basement of the school and take a shit. But you could easily, go to the locker room, basketball locker room, and take a shit.
So here's what I would do. My mom worked in my high school. I grew up in a high school. I went to the faculty bathroom. Not even so there was one faculty bathroom in one of the back halls.
Yeah.
Only went there once. Got caught in there by my basketball coach, my freshman basketball coach. He comes in there. He's like, and I'm in Sperry's and shorts, so it's obviously I'm a student, I'm not in pants. You're not supposed to be in here. You're a student. I ain't say shit. I just kept there and shit.
So they have a bathroom. It's not one of those bathrooms where you can lock the door.
That one wasn't. This one was like a student bathroom that they made a faculty bathroom.
Okay.
So I went in there.
The urinals.
Yeah. He's blabbering the whole time. And I'm like, dog, I'm going to sit on this toilet until you leave. You have a class to go teach. You're not going to stay in here. But
more importantly, hey man, it's over with. I'm already sitting on the fucking toilet. I'm taking a shit. You don't want to get up still having shit. Like it's over with. All right, I hear you. Leave.
And are you really gonna write me up for this? And here goes my privilege of my mom working at the school. his wife and my mom were friends because she also worked at the school.
Yeah.
It's like, dog, once you see it's me, you're not going to say anything. I'm like, hey, you be careful. Don't do that again. But usually I would actually go to the front office and use their bathroom because it was a actual bathroom where you can lock the door.
Yeah.
And if any of the front office staff saw me up there, they're like, no, AC had to take a shit.
All right.
Whatever.
Well, he's already up here. There's no reason to make him go out to the public.
Yeah, like this boy's been shit on this bathroom for the last 10 years. Since his mom started working here, he's been on this toilet.
Well, more importantly, is he hurting anyone?
No, never. I'm not bringing my friends to the faculty bathroom. Like, hey, come on up here. No. I was the kid.
You weren't blowing it up either, were you?
Who knows? I was 15. But like at that point, the thing about it was I did not like abuse. I abused my privileges of my mom working there, but I didn't share them. So like I had I didn't have a student parking pass. I had a faculty parking pass.
Yeah.
I parked on the faculty road because my mom had 2 cars and she told me which car I drove. So it doesn't even look crazy that the other car is in the faculty spot. I'm like, bro, I'm parking in the faculty spot, nigga. I'm not parking in the back of this parking lot, nigga. The fuck. My mama worked at my high school for damn near 30 years. Y'all can get the fuck out of here if you think I'm following all the rules.
All right.
Anyways, last thing on football, Aaron Rodgers skipping OTAs to do his ayahuasca retreat, although he did tell his coach. Do you care about that? I don't.
To me, it was kind of a non-story that they wanted to make a bigger story than what it was. Like, yeah, to a degree, I guess maybe it is some sort of a deal because it's just like, hey, he's not 100% focused, but it's just like, well, what are you going to say to Aaron Rodgers? Like, he's your quarterback. It doesn't fucking matter if he's there or not. As long as he's there on Sunday in September, like, that's what you care about. You don't really care about him being there today. Like, that is not going to make or break y'all Super Bowl, him being there. I understand that it's like, well, it seems like he might be getting treated a little different. It's like, well, yeah, because he fucking is, because he's Aaron Rodgers.
He's a 4-time MVP.
Well, and somebody broke this down, too, when that came out. They said, do you know who the Jets all-time, like, single-season passing leader is?
Is it the Sanchez?
Take another guess.
Zach Wilson?
No. I was hoping you'd say somebody else.
Gino?
No. I'll tell you, my first guess was Chad Pennington. Because I was like, Chad Pennington had some good years.
Is it Joe Namath?
Let me see. It's it's so bad, bro. Wait, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh man, I'm not showing up for this shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No. Joe Namath threw for 4,000 well,
I think what it was though, it was something else. Point being, maybe it was like
touchdown. So Fitzpatrick is touchdowns. He threw 31 in 2015.
Right. Well, but basically, he's had the best quarterbacking season in Jets history.
3,900 yards, 31 touchdowns, 15 picks. Oh yeah, because when Namath threw for 4,000,
28 picks.
He
5.7% interception rating. Interception percentage.
Yeah, the 5.3 touchdown. That's terrible.
Yeah.
What was his completion percentage? 52. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's OTAs, man. I get it with Aaron coming out and saying, hey, we need to be locked in on football, not the other bullshit. But I think Aaron's ayahuasca retreat was probably planned out before they planned the OTA dates. And that is part of him being a better football player. Even if we don't believe it, to him it is. All right, guys, that's football. We're getting fucking tired here. We're going to do a quick little culture hour. to kick off hour 3. Hey, Parlay Pete, real quick before we jump into culture, I'm wearing this NF shooting shirt to pay homage to a basketball coach I had. His name's Buck Rogers. He passed away 2 nights ago.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
Yeah, no, super sad, man. And he was definitely more than a basketball coach. One of the biggest things he talked to us about was grade 13. It's like, when this high school shit's over and you got to grow up and be a man, you got to be prepared for grade 13. And I will say, of our team of, let's just say 15 guys over about a 4-year span, only 2 are fuck ups. Everybody, we fell different parts of the spectrum, but he used basketball as a way to mentor us. He was just like, yeah, y'all niggas like to play basketball. Cool. We'll go out here. We'll play basketball. But I'm really trying to make sure that y'all become men and become productive men. Like, I remember I was late for practice one Saturday after we had a party fundraiser, right? We threw because it was a part of a nonprofit, so we weren't paying a lot of money to play. Threw a party, raised some money because they have a building. So it's like, let's get some hoes in here, shake some ass. You know what I mean?
All right.
And he told me a grown ass man don't stay in bed after 9. And mind you, I drink, so sometimes I stay in bed after 9. Trust and believe.
Yeah.
But it really sat with me because it's like, yeah, no, you a grown ass man. You
got responsibility.
You got some shit to do. Get your ass out the bed and go be somebody.
Well, and for the most part, unless you genuinely oversleep, you should want to get your day started. Like, you know what I mean? I know for me, it's one of those things. I typically am up. I have to get more out of school by 7:30.
Yeah.
So, I'm up. Like, even now, Boink, I can tell Boink's ass gets up pretty early. Once, because when I woke up and I saw y'all's his text and it was like 5:30, I'm like, God damn, like. Because I feel like I'm like, well, Boink, you didn't. The first thing that you did this morning wasn't wake up and send that text.
No, so
your teeth and shit, and then you sent it. Like,
I talked to Boink today. He got off from work at like 2:30, so he went into work early today.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So like, as a grown ass man, you get the fuck up and you go be somebody.
Yeah.
And now, mind you, if you're hungover, it's different. But it's also dependent upon what you have to do the next day. Like, we often sleep in on Sunday mornings before Falcons games.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Saturday night didn't end until Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's like sometimes Saturday night ends at 5 o'clock, and it's like, nigga, I might get up at 8:30.
Well, more importantly, because if I do, then I'm going to be no good I don't want to be no good at a Falcons game. Like, I want to be able to cheer. I want to be able to be alive at the game. I don't want to look like I'm hungover at a football game.
And I don't want to watch the Michael Vick, Peter Schrager pregame show either.
Exactly.
I offer nothing being awake.
I'll get up just enough time to where I can take some more shots, maybe throw something on my stomach and catch, Howie, Terry, Michael, Kurt, giving their picks. That's what I want to catch. And then, I'll get to look at this upcoming season. It'll get to be Kirk Cousins. But, last year we get to see Desmond Ridder warming up, knowing goddamn well that we're about to fucking lose this football game. Like, there's a good chance we're not going to win today. Like,
all right, man. So I want to start culture with this one right here. And I'm going to play it because it needs to be played. Let me go to Instagram user. OD activated account ass nigga.
I feel like I know what you're about to play.
And I might make this a segment, That's that shit I don't like.
Men to the women that have men, to the women who have friends that have men, I want you to know, I do not want you. I do not want your man. This continues to happen to me where I will just be speaking to a man and either he or his girl or his girl's friend will say something to me like, oh, well, I really need to get back to my girlfriend. She's going to be upset that I'm talking to you. Why would she be upset? I cannot stress this enough. I am not flirting with you. I am not flirting with your man. I am not flirting with your friend's man. If I'm speaking to you, human being, I'm doing just that.
All right, man. Before you go, I want to address this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Joy, you give big single vibes here.
Big. I don't want to be single anymore.
Yeah, you also give some insecure vibes here. So, as an insecure single woman, you should put your mind in a insecure woman in a relationship, or a woman in a relationship who may be with a guy who's a little flirty, a guy who may be Mr. Bitches. Him talking to you for too long and him saying, hey, I got to get back to my girl so she ain't tripping. He doesn't think you're flirting. He knows y'all are just having a kosher conversation. But his girl ain't hearing none of that shit. Why she laughing? Why she smiling? What was you over there saying?
How do you know her?
Yeah, bro, we went to college together. Oh, we worked together. Oh, I've met her on the scene. Oh, you met her on the scene? What does that mean? I was at a party and she was at a party.
Why didn't you introduce me? Why didn't she come over? Why didn't she ask you who you were with? And why didn't you point at me? Like,
it's like she's just being so ignorant to how women can act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've dealt with serious women in our lives. I mean, shit, I'm married.
Well, that's as serious as it gets.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I've been in totally kosher situations, talking to a woman, and my wife can be next to me. Like, she hears the entire conversation. And that conversation went too well for her.
Yeah.
What you making these bitches laugh for? Nigga, I'm funny. The fuck?
Was that, I forgot, was this interview on the Too Personal podcast?
It's on our podcast with Taylor Rooks. I don't know the name.
That's what it's called.
But Joy Taylor is on this mission to like uproot these societal norms. And she's gonna fucking lose. It's like, dog, for one, it's not that deep. The dude is just telling you, hey, bro, I gotta get back to my girl. Or maybe you being laughy, ha 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 ha, is perceived to be flirting. Hey, you know what? We misread signals sometimes. I can imagine in your life, you thought a girl was fucking with you and she wasn't. And other times you could have thought like a girl wasn't fucking with you at all.
And they definitely
and finally is like, so you're gonna fuck me? And it's like, I mean, yeah, I thought we was just chilling. Like I wanted to, but like I ain't pressing it. And we were just having good conversation and shit. And like I typically have good conversation. So I didn't know if this meant anything. And she's just like, no, I'm moist.
Yeah. That it's definitely both situations have happened, vice versa. Thought somebody's feelings weren't somebody you didn't even expect was you were the whole time. But
dog, I'll tell a story. This was before I was married, before I was dating my girlfriend. I mean, she was my wife. Jesus Christ. Before I was dating my wife, when she was my girlfriend. Well before. I kicked it with a chick one night. She stayed in my crib till like 6, 7. I make a move around like 4:35 because like, yo, nigga, it's late. Like, this is well past my bedtime. And she like, yo, nigga, chill. Cool. I see her again. And because she's a good hang. So like I'm not gonna like not kick it with a good hang just because I ain't getting no cheeks.
yeah.
We're talking, whoop the whoop, whoop the whoop. And then she just comes out, nigga, you gonna fuck me or not? And I go, well, last time I tried, you was like chill. She was like, well, I was in a situation, whoop the whoop the whoop. I was like, oh, well, you know, your situation meant nothing to me, so I don't know these things.
Right. I would have known that anyways, but you're at my house and it's this late. Anyways, take off your pants, bitch. Like,
yeah, so then the night 2, oh yeah, I'm about to sting you. And then I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna sting you again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But it's situations like that, and when you have like years of those types of situations, you just be like, dog, I'm confused. And especially when you with your girl talking to a pretty girl that she don't know. Right. You just trying to be. I really don't even want to talk to you. But because I know you, I rock with you. You may be somebody like it's for joy. You're important in this industry. So if I'm in this industry, I gotta talk to you when I see you. I can't have you being like, bro, this nigga acting funny in front of this girl. But like, I really don't want to speak to you because I don't want to have to go over here and explain this nothing that's something to her.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how as a woman, she doesn't get it.
You know, my biggest takeaway is Joy, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Everything's not about you. All right. You're not, of course you're the main character in your story, but you're not the main character in everybody's story. Get over yourself. It's not always about you when somebody's around you. And how often are these situations really coming up, Joy? And I get it, you're famous. You go to probably a lot of events and stuff. But how often is that really happening? This bitch makes it sound like it happens every time she's out. That somebody thinks she's trying to fuck their man, and every guy thinks that that she's flirting with them. Like, does it really happen that often, Joy?
I mean, maybe it does. Maybe Joy has been the backdoor shorty fucking married men and niggas with girlfriends. So now she gets
That
the
would be the
side
only
eye.
reason why anyone would think that, though. That's what I'm saying. How is this happening every time you step out? Like,
I mean, this is also the same woman who said she'd rather be in the forest with a bear than a man.
Joy's got to get over herself, man. It's not healthy. All right, it's not healthy to.
It's not giving.
It's not, and it's not healthy. She's got to get over herself. Every situation's not about her, you know.
No, it's not. And
Joy, just get your pipe when you can. I mean, whoever it is, somebody's piping you. Somebody's piping her.
Probably in his 50s.
Yeah, just be happy with the pipe. Yeah, some salt and pepper nigga in Miami, right? Something like that.
No, somebody in LA who's gonna take her to the next level.
Which is, what do you think the next level for Joy Taylor is?
Headlining her own show, maybe.
But how? Like how? Because Elle Duncan's got her own show on ESPN.
Do you watch it?
No, but that's because I think it comes on like ESPN2, and it's on like ESPN radio mainly.
Got it.
But she does have her own show, the Elle Duncan show.
Speaking of Elle Duncan,
Elle's put her time in. We know that personally, being from here. That Elle put her time in.
Yeah. But speaking of Elle Duncan, Andrea Carter started to grow on me a little bit. Her cheekbones and jawline were a little strong for me. But I went perusing through the IG, and I'm like,
Justice is a big fan of Andrea Carter.
She's growing on me now. Ngakwe, whatever her name is, she's not. And what's her name's actually growing on me? McNutt. McNutt got a butt.
McNutt could get a little McNutt, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. I am a synsexual.
Well, everybody really wants a piece of Molly Querum, right?
I'm not a Molly fan. Molly was ugly before she got to work.
But I'm just saying, but Molly is the poster child of who everybody wants to sleep with at ESPN.
Well, the way she and Stephen A flirt.
Actually, Malika is actually the best.
Can't touch her.
Well, exactly. So that's ruined her in a weird way. It hasn't ruined her because the moment that that doesn't work, she's gonna get the suitors, but like Molly, everybody knows that Molly will fuck niggas. Like it's a known fact.
Yeah,
right?
she married Jalen Rose for a little while.
Yeah, right. And think about the type of nigga that you think Jalen Rose is.
No. I'm not thinking about the type of person I think he is. I watched the Freaknik documentary, and he's from Detroit, and he was on it.
Yeah, so exactly. Talking about going to a rim shop to fucking sleep on the floor. Like, not to mention, if you watch any of the Fab Five shit.
Nah, Jalen Rose was him.
Well, yeah, the nigga wore a red suit to the draft. You know, he was Detroit Red. He was.
So you watched the Freaknik documentary?
I did.
So I finally watched.
You know what the city used to look like, man.
I finally watched it over the weekend. How crazy is it to you to know that where we went to college means so much to Black culture?
It is crazy.
It is surreal. Like, I mean, we were walking around campus with Metro.
Correct. You know, one of the things that I've always taken
Gotta
away.
sleep, right?
What was that?
I was getting off of Andrea Carter's Instagram page, and I the volume's on, so a video was up.
Yeah. As long as it get you a Molly video up, but
I'm good. No Molly over here.
yeah.
2024 niggas still doing Molly, bro. Y'all are junkies.
One of the things that stood out to me, because even I asked, you know, when that stuff initially came about, the DC club or whatever it was, you know, that's when my dad was there. Like my dad and mom, they were in school when that was happening. You know, the original one, the 80s aspect of it.
Oh, that's dope.
And so it to me is interesting because I'm like, damn, so this would, you know, y'all are having barbecues. Like that was like, I get it. Niggas still have barbecues today. Like barbecues are still really relevant in nigga culture. Like everybody.
But hip hop doesn't take over our barbecues and Uncle Luke and Too Short.
Yeah, and some ass.
Freaky ass niggas
from everywhere.
Yeah, nah, we don't have ass at our barbecues. We just have cocks. Pause.
Yeah.
A lot of hard legs.
Brews.
Hard legs, brews, beer pong. Not really a lady environment because you're gonna get ignored.
Yeah. Well, unless you're not wearing anything.
I don't go to those.
Well, when it's hot outside, you know, people start not wearing as much. So
I go like in the fall and early spring where we still got a nice breeze and everyone's fully clothed and possibly wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, so you don't like it when it's like a pool party barbecue type vibe.
Absolutely not.
Not a good place for those like you. Huh?
No, there's nothing for me at a pool party.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only worked on getting abs for the last 6 months for no reason, but like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Huh?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it'll be a cold day in hell, I guess, the next time you're there. But
fucking right, boy.
But yeah, it's the fact that there is a culture significance there, and you know, just this being the place that everybody wanted to be. Like it's Killer Mike said it best, I think, in it. You know, he was like, Atlanta was the shit before that, and it's gonna be the shit after that. Like, because when you break Atlanta down, I mean, even your boy K-Dot, right? He's like, see, Atlanta was the home. like, because Atlanta has always had that cultural significance, obviously with MLK, like, but civil rights being just so relevant here, and this being kind of it's the birthplace of MLK, and I get it, Selma and Birmingham and these places had their significance, but this is like, you know, the big city where
niggas ain't moving to Selma.
Right. Niggas aren't really moving to Birmingham like that. I mean,
yeah, I think that goes.
Unless you're a part of NASA. I think NASA's got a footprint in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, or you're at was it Alabama State?
Yes. I'll go to UAB.
But the thing about Atlanta, what makes Atlanta great is you have, and we've seen this with our classmates. You have people from all around the country come to the AUC for school, and then they end up working at Deloitte They end up working at Georgia Power. They end up doing grad school at Tech, this, that, and the third. They go to law school at Emory, and then they don't leave Atlanta.
Right.
And that's why Atlanta is what it is because of what I'm not saying it just because of the AUC, but the AUC is one of the reasons why Atlanta is the black mecca, because you have people from all over the country who come to these schools that don't even let 3,000 motherfuckers in. And then they stay and they start saying, God damn, you know what I'm saying?
Melting pot. Melting pot of black culture. Like, that's the one thing I tell people all the time when I talk about my experience in Morehouse. I said, you know, I didn't go out of town. Basically, I didn't go, you know, out of state, out of town for school. I kind of stayed home. But like, the biggest thing was I really didn't, because 80% of the people around me were not from the state of Georgia. The 20% that were from the state of Georgia, they weren't all Metro Atlanta, Georgia kids. So it's like,
you got niggas from Cairo and shit.
Right. Black
like me from Cartersville. I'm running into people from LA who know people at Morehouse. I grew up 45 minutes from Morehouse.
And not one nigga you could really name that came from Cartersville that went there.
Bro, it was one nigga. It was two niggas on campus from Cartersville. One was like in his 50s because he was like an assistant pastor at my church. So I knew him.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy who was in his mid 20s who was like another late ass student there. But like, he wasn't in my age bracket. So I didn't know him. I knew his ex-girlfriend. But she was much older than me. She was like 5 years older than me type shit. I just knew her because she went to my high school. My mom worked there. So like, that's how I know her. But then you meet niggas from LA and like their whole crew is coming to Morehouse. You're like, hold on, what?
Yeah, y'all niggas followed each other out here. Like
y'all didn't even make new friends until junior year.
Yeah, and like, but see, that's the crazy part too. I didn't really know anyone.
Nigga went to Mount Vernon. You was the only nigga in your class.
No. So funny enough, actually, there was somebody, he didn't graduate. I don't know if you know Kali, but
there's a lot of Kali's on that campus, man.
Kali went to Mount Vernon, but like, he got kicked out. So like, I mean, he didn't end up finishing technically. He got like, his senior year, he got kicked out. But like, but there were people even from Stevenson. Like, do you know Bobby?
No, I don't remember men that you don't know.
Everybody was over here for homecoming. Like, Bobby knew Zoe more. Like, he was at the wedding and everything. But Bobby went to Stevenson. And like,
I probably remember Bobby if I see his face. I remember the name as you say it, but like I don't remember it.
Because I want to say, I don't know how, I call them Big Bob's Beepers, but you know.
You need Big Bob's Beepers to come to Atlanta and run his franchise and stop talking to Stephen Smith about basketball.
Yeah. In due time, Landry's gonna hang himself, and so
we can't say that he's black.
Okay.
Danny Ferry was our GM at one point.
All right, he's gonna go hang out at Lake Lanier. All right, is that better? Is that much better? That doesn't choose a race. You know, that happens to everybody. They just drown. Like, motherfuckers just drown out there. Julio Jones loses a $250,000 earring. Like, that's the type of stuff that happens out there.
Why do you have a $250,000 earring, dog?
On the lake. I have no idea.
Get a $50,000 earring, man. Oh, no, you're
he's selling his house, too.
Yeah, the nigga broke. He don't want to live here.
Yeah, he's selling his house.
I didn't say he's broke, but he's not bringing in what he once did.
Yeah, well, his career
is
maybe
over.
He gets picked up again. Would you be mad if the Falcons took a flyer on him to be on the wide receiver room? Would you be mad at that?
I wouldn't be mad at him in the wide receiver room. I wouldn't be mad at him being the assistant receivers coach in the hopes that he stays on and starts his career as a coach. But he's made so much money that he's not going to do that. Because, we gave him that 3 for 66. And he gave us three touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to he definitely got his money.
Hey, two more quick topics before we get out of here.
Okay.
Did you listen to Quavo and Kamala?
No.
Did you care about Quavo and Kamala?
What is it? What are they? Well,
They had a conversation about like gun violence, and apparently Quavo actually got a little vulnerable talking about Takeoff's passing. So, which makes it hard for me to be totally dismissive of this conversation, because this is not a shot at Quavo and what happened to Takeoff. Like R.I.P. Lil Rocket, like we're Migos fans, we love Takeoff.
Yeah.
But I am tired of Kamala coming to Atlanta. That motherfucker's in Atlanta every other week. Like, are you in Brian Kemp's guest house at the mansion? Like every time I'm like scrolling through Instagram, like the Atlanta blogs are like, Kamala Harris coming to Atlanta this weekend. It's like,
yeah.
Are you pulling a Fonnie Willis over here? Are you
right? Who are you fucking? You know, and it's just so interesting. Like, for instance, too, and I get it. You know, it's because Georgia has turned into this somewhat of a battleground state, right? Like, because it did flip blue last time.
It's goddamn melting pot.
Right, but think about it. But we all know it's because of Atlanta, because the rest of the state is red, right? Maybe it might be a little blue in like Savannah and Augusta.
So it's Atlanta, Savannah, Albany,
Macon,
and I think Macon and a little bit of Columbus.
Yeah, but
that's where a lot of black people are. Everywhere else in the state is like,
it's red as fuck.
Hey, it's getting dark. You need to get your ass up out of here.
And even in Atlanta, where it's Democratic, that shit is still like 60-40, 55-45. Because there still are plenty of like white Republican people that live in Atlanta too.
I mean,
like,
there's black Republican people in Atlanta like you.
That too, right? Exactly. There's that aspect of it too. So, which is why it's interesting that they're even going to have that debate here tomorrow. Like that they chose of all places, and I get it, CNN's headquartered here, but like
it's a battleground state.
Of all places, they're like, man, let's do that shit in Atlanta. Team USA's playing Panama tomorrow. Here, what are the chances that we get Team USA's fucking playing? Like, what is that all about? The Hawks got the number one pick. Atlanta's on top. God damn it.
Yeah, we got the number one pick in the number fucking 0 draft. Nigga.
Hey, number one pick in the second worst draft of the last 25 years.
Like, hey man, you get the best Tootsie Roll that we fucking produce, nigga. Cotton candy sweet as gold. Let me see you Tootsie Roll ass Atlanta niggas.
Somebody had it's like this draft chart. But on average, the first pick of this draft, on average, would be about the 7th or 8th pick in any other draft.
Hey, real question for you. When have you woke up and wanted a Tootsie Roll? Like, nigga, I want chocolate or taffy. I don't want them mixed.
Yeah, those have always been nasty as fuck to me. I'll tell you the ones that I got, because, I like chocolate.
Flavor Tootsie Rolls are different.
I don't like those. You want to know what I like? The Tootsie Pop.
Oh, that's different.
How many licks does it take to get to sandwiches? Let's find out. A 1, a 2.
Yeah, they had a great marketing campaign, and you actually are getting a sucker with this nasty ass Tootsie Roll in the middle of it.
Exactly, but that was the point. The sucker was good.
I ain't got a problem with the sucker, but then like once that sucker gone, oh, and I'm throwing that shit away.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot. Speaking of suckers, Matthew Stafford and his wife.
Oh. You know, I put something up on Twitter about that.
Okay, or excuse me, X.
Well, yeah, whatever, if that's what they want to call it. But it was basically in regards to, so somebody had memed it to, the Haktua girl, and like. They were basically like Matt Stafford's wife to Georgia's backup.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, my thought was that, why is she bringing this up? I was like, now look at what this has turned into. This man, made plenty of money.
Probably made well over $100 million.
Oh, man, well over like 300. He's had like $200 million contracts.
He's changed your life. She was a North Fulton chick. One of my partners knows her because he went to Centennial.
Okay.
And then, she goes off to UGA, becomes a cheerleader, and starts sucking quarterback cock. And my thing is, I'm a married man. I'm pretty sure at some point early in our relationship, early in our like talking and shit, my wife did some things to make me jealous. Maybe I picked up on it, maybe I didn't. But whatever it may have been, that shit was probably handled. I mean, not probably. That shit was handled internally, whether it was internally between us or internally with ourselves, right? But I wish to fuck my wife would go on a podcast that actually gets attention. No, fuck that. I ain't even got to get attention. I wish my wife would go on a podcast and say, yeah, Adam was on some bullshit. So I started fucking with his young nigga who I don't even, who I already knew was a piece of shit just to make him jealous and be smiling talking about it. It's like, yo, you didn't respect yourself when you did that. But more importantly, I don't care if you don't respect yourself. I chose you. Now you're disrespecting me.
Right. You're coming back years later to, you're really, not only are you, because I have to imagine it's something that he already knew, that she had already had this shared the story with him. Now you're throwing it in my face, is what you're doing, and you're letting anybody else know about it.
Think about it. She said that like one day he saw my car out there. He waited for me to come out of old boy's room and hopped in my car and told me like he's not the one. So also Matt Stafford's the dirty Mac. Hating ass nigga.
But if he had to ask first and he's mad it was gone, it's just like, nah, you don't want to fuck with him. Like,
that's still dirty Mac.
It is, but I'm just saying, but if it was his first.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not saying I'm above.
What is the extent of the relationship?
I'm not saying I'm above it, but I'm also telling you I am entirely too prideful to go tell a woman, hey, you need to stop fucking him and come fuck me. And then turn around and marry her. And then 15 years later, she comes out and discloses this stuff to the world. If I decide to cuff her and marry her, I've gotten to the point to where I know I'm not going to see this nigga ever again. If I go back to UGA, I'm Kirby. Make sure that bitch ass nigga ain't there or I ain't coming. Mark, if he's there, I ain't coming. And ain't nobody coming to hear you, Otis.
Hey, and I know this is completely off topic, but it popped up on the screen. Why are the Knicks tied for the second best odds to win the NBA title?
Because they have a rabid fan base and Vegas knows that.
They're getting in. Okay, the early money is what's shifting that line.
Yeah,
it's tied with Denver to have the second best odd. Like,
yeah, it's just Vegasism because they know the Knicks fans are going to bet it, and they know they can't afford.
Got traded to the Cowboys today.
Yeah, like they can't afford to give the Knicks real odds. Like the reason why Dallas gets like high Super Bowl odds or unfavorable Super Bowl odds is because they know they're gonna get a bunch of tickets on them. And if Dallas actually wins the Super Bowl, they'd be fucked if they gave Dallas like middle of the pack odds that they probably deserve. Yeah. Same thing with the Knicks. That's all.
Yeah.
But no, dog, like Matthew probably made up in his mind, hey, this is something that happened. Yeah, I did some suck ass shit, but you know what I'm saying? You got that hot tour and I love it. You know, that pussy good. I ain't gonna lie. And all of that shit. But then for you to go tell the world this with a smile on your face, like you was reminiscing on that dick.
Right.
Like you remember how it made me feel, it had me feeling low. Matt must have been cheating. He got caught, man. That's all I got.
Well, but even at that point, because they said it was Joe Cox, right?
Yeah, Cox slinging cock.
Well, right. So think about it. But now, not only that, I don't know what Matt's relationship with Joe is at this point, but
nothing.
Well, right. Well, let's say that now somebody gets Joe on an SEC podcast. They ask him about it, and then he's like, hell yeah, I slutted that bitch. Now you got something like that potentially. Because any and everybody will take advantage of a situation, especially gets clicks, then people want to pay them to, I don't know, talk about it. Like, I don't know. You just opened up this can of worms in the offseason. It's just like, this is like one of the last things I need. Stetson's back sober. they might not be trying to re-up my deal. That Super Bowl deal is starting to fade away. Maybe they don't want to pay me.
And more importantly, hey, Shorty, I changed your life. You may have came from good family, good money. You ain't come from 200-300 M's. You gonna embarrass me like this?
Bitch, your great-grandchild is already straight.
Like, fuck you telling the story with your homegirls over wine and I find out about it and I'm pissed. Now, you telling this on a podcast so the world can talk about it? Yeah, Matt got caught cheating in the offseason. That's all. That's all it was. Matt got caught cheating.
You think she was just making sure, letting him know, hey, I still wear the pants in this relationship?
Nah, not that I still wear the pants in this relationship, but I can take mine off at any point in time and somebody gonna touch this cat. So stop playing with me.
And you're gonna always be upset about it.
Yeah, like listening to the commentary around it, especially from like the black media sources, I don't think they really like dug into why she would say it. They just dug into that she said and how disrespectful it is. Totally disrespectful. Right. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, if my wife did some nut ass shit like that, we're gonna have a long talk. A long ass talk. It's not even about you doing it. Cause nigga, I know you did it. This ain't news to me. It's the fact you fucking talking about it, embarrassing me. I mean, I looking like a fucking chump.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, Matt was bullshitting because women are great. Women are excellent. But women don't just go out there and try to hurt you unless they got a reason, unless they want something, unless you done something.
And Matt was out there. He was out there piping down some LA hotties. And she got wind of it. And then she was like, oh, okay, bet.
I don't even know if she got wind of it. She probably raided that nigga phone and saw the text because that nigga's just like, yo, my wife ain't going through my shit, nigga. I don't need the burner.
All right. I got 3 kids with her. She not leaving this.
I mean, what she got 3 kids. Where the fuck she gonna go? What she gonna find? Ain't no 300 mil nigga gonna goddamn take care of her like this. Come on now, let's be honest.
Right.
Hey man, shout out to the Staffords, man. Hope y'all get that shit worked out. If not, give me more content so I can talk about it. The real last thing. Did you watch the Who Killed WCW doc?
I have not watched it. I've seen it pop up on YouTube for Vice. Is it good? How many is it now? Well, and then this was another thing. Is it multiple parts or is it just one thing?
It's 4 parts.
Okay, but they're all like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. So
you watch it?
I watched part 4 today. I watched one like 2 weeks ago, but I fell asleep on it. So I watched 1 through 3 over the weekend, and I watched 4 today. It's really good. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to wait for you to go watch it.
I gotta watch it too, yeah. Because I obviously grew up. I mean, I watched WWF growing up, but like more so grew up watching WCW actually. Like,
I mean, yeah, bro.
I watched WCW a little bit more than WWF growing up.
Bro, we're Southern boys, man.
There's that, and then to me, and I love No Mercy on N64, but like Revenge and World Tour, best wrestling games. Like, yeah, those games were great.
And now the WWE games, since they've gone to 2K, are terrible.
I tell you what, and you can tell me this much at least from it. Who do you think ruined WCW? Who do you think it does deserve the blame? Because even without seeing the doc, you kind of know. I knew the ins and outs of like Vince Russo taking over and like sabotaging like the fucking writing.
the suits at AOL Time Warner, once they made the merger and Ted Turner no longer had a vote, it died because Ted Turner, it was a passion project for Ted. It wasn't a money project for Ted. And the suits were TV people. They cared about cinema, these type of niggas that like La La Land and not fucking Avengers. And they had an idea for what they wanted the network to be, so they made sure they could make the network work in the way that they wanted to. It wasn't just about ratings. It's like anybody with the ego. I don't want to get it right. I want to get it right my way.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. And a little bit, I think that Hulk Hogan had too much influence with Bischoff because of the contract that he was given.
Yeah.
I think that hurt because that created division in the locker room, and it allowed somebody like Vince Russo to come in and like get with guys. And it was just a bunch. It was a lot of shit. And then Vince McMahon did not help because when he was buying those guys out, he was offering them 50 cents on a dollar. So they're like, no, I can just sit at home until my contract ends.
Yeah, the top guys, like the NWO.
Yeah, so like if
They
Vince,
only got certain guys. They got like Booker T, DDP.
yeah, but it worked out for Booker T. Like Booker T was like, I'm a mid card guy. I need to go to WCW. I need to go to WWE and wrestle to keep my title, to build a name for myself. So it makes sense.
Established here too.
So it made sense for him. But if they actually would have paid them 110 on the dollar for the short term, and again, I'm not looking at the books. I don't know what the ratings were. Obviously, Vince didn't need to do it because most of these niggas came groveling back to him after their buyout. If he could have,
was like the only one that
Sting didn't come to like 2013, 2014. Nigga, we were in college.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was Sting's career, even though I know he just retired, Sting's career has been over for 20 years. I mean, so once he didn't make the move initially, like, you know, his career was over.
If Vince could have brought the talent in, I think that WCW could have stayed alive as like SmackDown. It could have been like Raw is WWE and SmackDown's WCW, and you pick and choose your crossover. And then there's a lot of things that could have been done, but without knowing the money behind it. I'm only speaking theoretically. I can't speak to like actually good business, but it was a clusterfuck, man.
What it is they didn't get the invasion part right. Like
they couldn't
and I remember watching that. Like
me too.
I believe they couldn't because they didn't have all the guys' contracts, right? Because we didn't get you know, DX versus NWO clash, right? Like in their primes.
We didn't get Sting versus fucking Stone Cold or Undertaker. We didn't get Kevin Nash versus Undertaker when we wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know we got Hogan Rock, but like some people would argue they really wanted to see Stone Cold Hogan, right?
Stone Cold didn't want to do it with Hogan. I listened to because of the content drought, I've been listening to a lot of wrestling podcasts. Good old JR.
He keeps going into the hospital. Like
JR definitely votes Republican.
Yeah, well, he's got his own barbecue sauce, doesn't he?
Probably. But like I've been listening to him on a podcast, and I've been listening to Eric Bischoff on podcast. And yeah, no, Stone Cold didn't want to wrestle Hogan. He was just like, I don't think our styles work, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't know. It's been a nice piece of nostalgia. I'm a Peacock guy, so like I've been going back and watching random pay-per-views, random like
that is like the best part of Peacock.
Oh yeah, the best part of Peacock, fuck The Office, is that you have the entire wrestling
history, nigga.
Yeah, like when we leave here, I'm gonna go in the house, take a shower, plop into bed, probably wake my wife up, piss her off because I'm getting into bed at fucking 2:00 on a Wednesday. And I'm gonna watch wrestling.
Well, and here's the crazy part: it's wrestling that you don't even care about. Like, you can watch the first WrestleMania if you want it. Like, isn't that interesting? You can watch the first WrestleMania. Like I have no interest in it, but it's the fact that it's like, I can watch, or WrestleMania 3, I can watch Hogan, Andre the Giant, like, because it's just at my disposal for $3.99 a month. You know, like.
Oh, speaking of which, Maven does a podcast.
Yeah, so
good YouTube clips.
Yes, no. I love his breakdown of shit.
Yeah, I meant to send
through inside.
I meant to send some to you this weekend just because I know you're a wrestling guy and talk about it, but no, like I was never a Maven fan, but his breakdowns are really fucking good.
Yeah. And I just always was curious too how that worked. Because it's like, you know what? There is a Monday Night Raw every week. When do these guys get the fucking time off? Like,
yeah, they get like 4 days off. They work 3 days off, 4 days. And if you're being honest,
and then he said, like, depending on where you live, like, that makes like a big difference. Like in the shit, like, yeah.
You know, it sounds like the perfect balance between NFL and NBA life without the health benefits.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're not nearly making as much money.
No, but it's like I can be at home and be a family man like 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And then the other days a week, I can like go rage.
Like he said he fought at WrestleMania and he was like, obviously, you know, flagship pay-per-view for the company. And he was like, I got like, I forgot what the dollar amount, but he was basically like, even for me, I said, I'm a lower card guy at this WrestleMania. He said, but we got paid like $35,000, $40,000 for our match, which he said at the time was like great. Like you make that in one night, one pay-per-view. He said, you know, you still get paid your weekly Raw stuff, but like, yeah, he broke it down.
It's talking about the contracts is why the Kevin Nash and Scott Halls didn't come over. They were the 7-figure guys. It's like, nigga, I'm making over $1 million sitting at home. Fuck you, Vince.
Yeah.
I need 3 to get off my couch.
Right.
like, just think about it. Hold on. So you want me to come work for $500,000 when I can sit on my couch and make $1 million? And my wife hates me because I have.
And I think that with those contracts too, it's similar to they almost like offset. So whatever you make from that cuts out.
Yeah.
Kind of like how coaches are.
Exactly. That's why, you know, Monty Williams isn't coaching the best.
On his ass. Yeah. Or worst case, he'll do a Russell Wilson and he'll be like, man, just pay me $1 million a year.
Yeah. Anyways, Parlay Pete, man, it's 1:30. It's been a good 3 hours with you, man. Happy to have you back.
Yeah.
We'll do this again in a couple weeks. We'll start figuring out the schedule.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
This is the off season. It's
and then what next week? Is next week today the 4th of July?
Yeah.
And you got that. And then I know you're getting ready to do your move.
Free agency, NBA free agency does start on the 30th, so
we'll get something figured out.
Yeah. All right, dog.
Okay. All right, brother. Cuddle with your wife.
Yep.
All right.